It's not about spaceships.
Hey, YouTube.com, Facebook.org, and everything else. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And with me is Mr. Jesse, the Thrawn Killer.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we're going to have other guests with us today, I believe, if I sent everybody the right links. Pretty sure I did since you're here. But
yeah, well, they may be stuck in, LA traffic on the internet.
Everyone's asking me, they're like, hey, are we doing it at 11? I'm like, no, I said 9:45. It's Book of Boba Fett trailer day. So we have a copy of it loaded up in here and all the screenshots and stuff like that. And I think we will probably play it a few times throughout this.
Because I actually haven't watched it yet. So.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all?
At all, no.
All right. Oh, look. Okay, I think. All right,
reaction.
James. We got some James.
Oh, Mr. James.
I don't know if Mr. James could hear us yet. I think he's setting up. But yeah. So you haven't even seen it. All right, that's cool.
Just that piece that you showed a little bit ago, and that's it.
I mean, I could pretend like I didn't see it. James is just disgusted by you. He's like fake fans. He's like fake fans. This isn't real. Yeah. Well, then in that case, we will let James get ready, and hopefully Max joins us pretty soon too, and hopefully Rob. And we will come back with Rob. If Rob is an artist, so he works different hours.
Yeah.
And if Rob's used to being here at 11 p.m., so we'll come back with Rob.
Sure. Mike.
All right, James, can you hear us?
Brother? Hey, yeah.
How's it going, dude?
Hey, James, Lance, Tibor.
All right. Well, let's. If you want to say anything over the trailer, by all means, go ahead. But you have to hit the mute button on the unmute button on your end to talk over the video. Okay. And so let's take a look at it and get flagged by Disney. Let's do it. So this right here is a ruse, by the way.
I am not a bounty hunter.
Jedi.
The Bomar monk.
I've heard otherwise.
That was a pit droid. Yeah, right? It's pretty badass. Yeah, that was a pit droid, not the monk. I saw this set, by the way.
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
I'm glad they really kept Fennec Shand.
Look at that shit.
Jabba ruled with fear.
Tatooine City.
I intend to rule with respect.
I don't believe him.
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
It's because they speak English. They should be talking English.
Speak of conflict.
You see those Tuskens?
Can make us all rich.
I wonder if the Tuskens pull them out of the Sarlacc.
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
He did his little Maori face.
He had spoken such
his Maori
insolence
dance
to Jabba.
That's the Captain America
He'd
shield
have fed you to his menagerie.
Please. Speak freely.
All right. Yeah.
I like the logo too, that they actually got the green into the logo, the letters.
So had you had a chance to watch it before, James?
Yeah, I watched it just the one time when it first dropped this morning.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Yeah. So okay. So Jesse, that was your first time seeing it. I talked all over it, ruined it for you as that guy in the theater. But yeah, no. What was your general? Are you excited? Are you ambivalent? Is it what you expected?
No, actually, I am I am more than a little bit excited. It looks really good.
A little bit of PP came out.
Just quite possibly. I'm just should have worn some Depends,
Max will be joining us in a second.
I'm of two minds of this because the cool thing about Boba Fett was that he had this like aura of mystery. He didn't really say stuff. He just showed up as a badass.
Yeah.
And obviously the prequels to some extent already, changed that. So I don't know if, it looks great. It looks amazing, especially for a TV show. I mean, it's the production values are on point. But
And I like how it's still we're seeing the good array of aliens and citizens there on Tatooine. So
yeah, and that city on Tatooine, that's movie quality stuff right there. That's badass. But
yeah,
I thought that was it, like Rogue One. And for a second, I was like, "Is that Jeddah?" And I was like, "No, that's an ivory tower on Tatooine, I think."
almost
Is
looks like
that
an Aztec or Mayan city kind of thing, one of those
yeah?
complex things.
And a while ago, I went down to the Boba set like during the pandemic. I was like, I wasn't taking very many risks, like during like the height of it, especially like early on, and that's when they were filming most of it. One of the days I went down there, and I was like, all right, there's like nobody on the road. I was like, it was kind of creepy when I went there. They were working on it, and I saw I talked about how they had like these all these sets and this like big storefront set up on what looked like it looked like the Ralph McQuarrie writing, like the kind of writing that they used on Jakku for Nima Outpost around the border. You can see that all in that city. And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is not to brag that I am the luckiest idiot in the world is to have seen it. It's that was set up for a long time.
Yeah.
They so that Hammerhead, I think that's the Hammerhead place. I'm guessing.
The things you stumble into.
But it was that was set up for like probably 2 months, maybe.
Really?
So I think some significant stuff is going to happen there, and it was enough to actually build it and enough to leave it up 4 months. So, and yeah, but
well,
okay. So
yeah, that's it. That looks great. I mean, they use the
shit. And are you guys of the same mind as me that that's probably all just the first episode?
Yeah, sure, probably. Yeah,
that's what it looked like to me.
That's a Disney, it looked like Marvel type thing. Yeah.
It looked like it was 90. Probably vast majority of it was completely from the first episode.
Yeah, either that it can be a very boring show.
yeah, but just like the whole time he's like
for 8 seasons.
I'm coming back. I have to get the dog people together.
Have they given the episode time frames or lengths yet for each episode?
No.
So if they're going to show this, if that's all first episode, then you imagine that's what at least a 30-minute show episode then, right?
Yeah, I think it's essentially the Mandalorian. It's going to fluctuate probably in that 30 to 45 minute range, whatever they need per episode. I'm going to imagine.
And it was 6 episodes, right? I can't remember.
It's like 8 episodes.
Yeah, 8.
And then there's some people in the Disney Plus like little sphere of leakers from the network itself saying it could be 9. But I believe it's 8, but I'm not totally sure. It was supposed to be 8 originally. But there's always a chance that they ended up with enough content for 9 episodes or something like that, or instead of making one a 2-parter or a very long one like they did with the first episode of The Mandalorian season 2 episode 1. Yeah. I think they might have split one of them up and turned it into 2 episodes. And the reason that I am going with that is that there's a rumor going around that I don't know if it's true, but that the first week that it comes out, we're going to essentially get 2 episodes. And it has to do with the moving the schedule around for Marvel. And I don't know if that's panned out or not. You know what I mean? But
didn't they move Hawkeye up or something like that?
There was all these problems with it. And I was like, you know what? If fucking nerds shouldn't be going out during a pandemic. They're not going anywhere anyway. If they could watch 2 TV shows in one day, mom and dad are gonna allow it. I mean, they only won't watch 7 hours of play Fortnite for 5 hours. They could watch 2 TV shows. Don't worry. And so it's kind of a weird thing on their part, in my opinion.
Is that what you were doing last night on Xbox?
Oh, pretty much, yeah. I've been sick like all week. It just like will not let up. I don't have COVID, thankfully. At least that's what the test said.
Yeah, the boy has a cough. So he got tested and he's been sick leave for the last 3 days. That's why I had to leave on Friday.
It's just like nonstop nasal drip, fun stuff.
Yeah.
And and then so anyways, so I didn't go trick or treating with the kids. So like I was like, I'll let the kids go trick or treating, but they gotta keep to the distance houses and all that. And they're like, okay, so that's what they did. And I stayed home. I played Fortnite and I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I started to watch Dune again, and then he wanted to go trick or treating, so we took him a couple blocks, and then he came back and he wanted to hand out candy the rest of the night. So he just stood there, or brought his chair over and sat there in front of the door and just started handing out candy.
My kids walk up, they're all, Dad, look at all the candy we got, and they brought me the bag, and then they walked away and went to school. What fools! What fools! I have it all here.
You left the hen house door open with the rooster around.
But yeah. Anyways, life lesson, making sure that Max isn't in the chat. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So let's look at the chat really quickly and just see what our buddies are saying, our Star Wars friends. Hey, Tabor, it says, I hate that they know we will watch it anyway. They barely show anything in these Disney Plus trailers. Looks great except for the first shot. I still hope for Boss, Cad Bane, and Embo. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't get too much anxiety about what they're showing or not showing in the trailer.
Yeah,
because they're not going to show they might, if they even give us the cameos before, they'll give it to us as like get excited for this next week of Star Wars content. You know, like when Cad Bane comes, like Cad Bane's coming, and they'll have a quote poster that's not really a poster.
I'll be seeing you when I
get
there.
I feel like they have to like kind of space out all these cameos because, you know, you got Ahsoka coming, you got all these shows, and like every show, you know, is going to have at least one major cameo. So you can't. Well, Han Solo is going to be here, and Cad Bane's going to be here, and you know,
no,
and Quantum is going to show up. Kitster.
Yeah, no, and but Boba's the one I think that gets the biggest free pass. Like Ahsoka is gonna have, like I was talking about last week, it's gonna have Hera and the Ghost and Chopper and all of the cast of Star Wars Rebels coming into it. So like that portion of the fandom that was just all about Star Wars Rebels is going to be completely elated constantly by that. And then, but Book of Boba is the one where this guy he's in the mix. Like that's like if you did a Kitster TV show, Kitster doesn't get in the mix. He's not in the mix. He's just going like pod races with Wald. And
high fives.
Yeah, missing the high fives. R2's head's on fucking sideways. You can see inside it. Billy, I almost said Billy Barty, but anyways, you know, it's crazy in there. And but Boba, he's in the mix, and he kind of gets that free pass, if you will, to have all of these connections, because of course he knows Bosk and Dengar and 4LOM and Darth Vader and whoever they happen to bring in. Now, the one thing that the rumors are suggesting is that it's going to take place over multiple time frames. It's going to have flashbacks and stuff like that in it. And the one, and then this right here did not give us any indication of that. No confirmation on any of that jazz. It completely appears to be the day after. how he gets the throne and how he plans on keeping it is what they're selling us today. Now,
it looks like
crew merch, or not merch, but crew items that were given out showed differences in the costume. Star Wars Newsnet had a report saying that they believe that there's differences in the costume, and that if the differences in the costume are to denote the time frame from which you are seeing Boba. So like if he has the black robe on with the armor over it, we know it's present day Boba, post Return of the Jedi Boba. And then if we see the different iterations of the armor, that's when we could tell where we're at in the timeline.
Trying to slim down by wearing black Boba.
Yeah, man. I will say I want to give it. I have to give credit where credit's due, because there are, I think, some very unflattering shots of Boba in Mandalorian season 3.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, Boba's been eating tacos Jason Ward style. That's what I say. A couple of those things.
Hey,
Not that Tamura Morrison isn't like fucking a muscle dude can beat the shit out of me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying though, when you put a robe on and you put armor on, and we're used to him looking like kind of like Timothy Oliphant, kind of almost has more of the body frame that we're used to for the Boba Fett
Yeah, he
armor.
more looked like
So
Jeremy
he looks
Bullock.
yeah, he looks like chunky, and but in this right here, from what we were seeing, I felt like they shot him from better angles, and I almost feel like when we saw some of that previous stuff, that Robert Rodriguez had his mind made up for how things were going to be shot before with children before he had Tamara Morrison in the costume in front of him.
well, I imagine that the speed that they do these productions, like when they called him up for Mando, there was no time to get him in the gym and get him like up to the fighting shape. So
Yeah.
he's had some time. I think he would be better situated to play this now. But I want to see if they go back for like when he got out of the Sarlacc. I want an in-universe canon explanation as to how he got so chunky living out in the desert with a bunch of Tuskens.
Well,
He ate burrata inside there. He had to eat burrata.
Yeah,
He ate burrata. Weak way.
It's more like his genetic things, unfortunately, because we're used to growing up seeing Jeremy Bullock, who is a slender, narrow-shouldered individual.
Yeah.
And now Tamara Morrison, who is very broad-shouldered, and so it's very difficult for them to get that same silhouette that we're used to seeing. Thus, him wearing the black robes, and he can work out all he wants probably, but he's like some of the other gentlemen who they work out, but they still maintain it. They still kind of have a gut.
Oh yeah,
they're not really fat, so that's just what's playing against them, I think.
Well, his body type too. Like when he's Django, you could always like Django was always much more like buff looking, like you know what I mean, like a little bit more like a pug, not a pug, a bulldog.
But yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like,
when you say that he looks like Jimmy Oliphant looks good, is because he's got a very slender neck and it goes into some narrow, slim shoulders, and so it looks like the silhouette we're used to seeing.
Yeah. Hey, Allison, how's it going? Allison's all, hey guys, no Rob. Rob is a sleepy little dude today. But I know that Rob's here all the time, and so when Rob gets up, we will have Rob on, and if Rob wakes up early, we'll have Rob on then. I'm gonna let you guys get your Rob. Don't worry, I won't rob you of the Rob.
I'm a scab. He's a scab. I work for cheaper. I'm like half price Rob, so. Budget concerns,
You're not a discount Rob. Don't worry about it.
Discount Rob.
I should change my name to that next time.
My big old buddy Mike Papa says, "Is that Pedro Pascal's voice when they show the Hammerhead dude?" That is a good question. What do you? I'll have to watch it again, but it does, from memory, it does sound like it could very well be him.
I like the costume picture he posted on his Facebook. It was good.
Oh, and I want to get out. I want to get out ahead of myself here. And I had this idea. This is speculation now, but when we were talking about all of those Mandos that are going to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian, where it looks like all of these various Mandos team up. Mm-hmm. What if Boba shows up with his Tatooine army? I'm getting ahead of myself, but that kind of thing could happen. That could be kind of what helps Mando in season 3.
Yeah.
It looks like, because obviously we know from Lucas's story outline for the sequels that it was all about Maul building up the crime syndicate and taking over that, and I wonder if they're just kind of going with that same idea, that same concept, but they're just throwing Boba in there instead of Maul.
Yeah, that does sound like that is completely possible, and I also think that it was the Star Wars Underworld television series premise.
So maybe he got
that he converted when that show died.
Power, and then we see that there is not the guild, but like the Empire, or whatever, coming for him because they think they can just take him, and so he gathers a lot of the bounty hunters and the Tatooine city folk.
Yeah,
to fight for their place. I think we might see something like that.
And on one hand, it does seem like all of this stuff does make the idea or the chances of getting Star Wars Underworld, Star Wars Underworld as a television show or an adaptation, it will probably not happen now. I'm going to say,
and since they're calling it Book of Boba Fett, then
yeah,
is it going to be, so basically I think it's going to be like individual stories, possibly, where like each one is like, oh yeah, this is what I would read happening in a book if I bought the book of Boba Fett, whether it's for a child or for us adults. I think
yeah.
break it up that way instead of one continuous
it-
story.
I think it's like the Wonder Years, but with Boba Fett, basically.
Right.
I
Sit
would
on
go
the horse
there
reminiscing.
in the sun and then get the sun on my face, and it would
Yeah,
be great.
maybe they have like a young indie intro, or they have a 100-year-old Boba Fett missing an eye.
Yeah. Doing the whole Forrest Gump openings
Yeah.
at the bus stop. I used to rule the galaxy. Oh, sure you did, you crazy old pirate.
Life
then,
is full
your
of
meds.
concussion bombs.
Yeah, and it's also been confirmed that by Favreau that the Mandalorian season 3 is going to be it's going to lead into the Force Awakens, that climate. They are elaborating on that stuff because they're erasing it, guys. They're retconning it all. No, they're gonna like lead into that stuff. But this show, I mean, is when you really get down to it, if you were being super real with how the production went and what it all means, this really is season 3 of The Mandalorian. It's just that it's the Boba Fett one, and it has a different name. And then season 3 of The Mandalorian comes out next year, and that's really season 4 of this one show. You know what I mean? And so, but point being is that I have a feeling that these things are all going to lead in, and we may end up seeing, if Boba ends up getting wind or the idea that the First Order is coming and that the Republic is inept and that it's all going to come back. That could also be what ends up setting him apart and not having him fall in line with the heroes or even the Mandalorian. If it ends up being about building a stable society, he's going to be like, no, the Empire's coming back. He might see it for what
you
it
don't think
is.
we're gonna see an episode of him like learning responsibility or something like that, right?
I don't think so. I doubt it. That would be like he's like they're gonna get Tamara Morrison with Daniel Logan's little Boba, and he's gonna talk about like for the Wonder Years. Here's how it happened. I'll never forget the first time I kissed Fennec Shand by a tree, and her brother died in Vietnam. I mean, the Battle of Jakku, or something like that.
I'd watch that show.
Boba's Pool Palace.
I'd watch it. Yeah, I'd watch it too.
I wonder how ambitious they're going to get with, because it looks like they're basically leading towards a retelling of Heir of the Empire with bringing Thrawn back and everything they're setting up. And so I'm wondering, do you think they would like kind of like have everything culminate in a finale with a movie where they have like a big battle on Mandalore with Thrawn's army, and then they kind of bring in the Mando, they bring in the Ahsoka series, they bring in the Rangers, and they tie it all up in a big spectacle like a movie.
Well,
Yeah.
If they think you're going to see Thrawn, then more than likely we would have to see Wayland and Mount Tantus.
Well, we already have in Bad Batch.
But
Yeah.
more of it like as a
Oh yeah. And now that it's designed, I mean, because in Mandalorian season 1 and 2, I mean, you get all of these hints about how the cloners are doing something, and having seen episode 9, I think we could assume what the ultimate end game of that is. But you do, and so when you see that in Bad Batch, and that's just confirming where all that stuff was taking place. And so I kind of think you're onto something. My whole thing is do we end up actually getting a culmination of a new Heir to the Empire, or do we end up getting Heir to the Empire sort of fed to us in morsels, where when you put it all together, you could edit it into your retelling of Heir to the Empire, but it's just sort of told at the macro era level,
Well, it's so easy to do. You plug in Snoke for Sabayoth.
Yeah.
and you pretty much got everything set up already. Who the Mara Jade character, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. That's the one I really want to see because Filoni is obviously a Lucas guy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people go back and forth on this. Lucas definitely did not like Mara Jade, and he was not. That was one thing actually that was told me that someone got in trouble for
Right.
because they had mentioned, this is back in the 90s. Someone came out and said, well, Lucas didn't care for the Empire, but he liked Dark Empire. And afterwards, he got kind of pulled to the side and said, we don't talk about these things to outsiders. So I know for a fact that that happened, and Lucas is not a fan of that. But so Filoni's doing it now. Does he change it? Does he try to make it more Lucas-esque? Do they just kind of steer the course? Who's in charge? What are they thinking? Are they looking at what the
I think he's
fans
flying his own
say?
ship right now at this point.
Well, I have mutual friends with the Flown, with the real Filoni.
With my hat.
And I definitely get the impression that he likes a lot of the sequel trilogy, but it was not what he wanted. I don't think he would have, if he wasn't making Star Wars. Really, I don't think he would be having a YouTube channel talking about lynching Kathleen Kennedy or anything like that. But I definitely think that he is of the mindset that he wants to bring out what he wanted, and he wants to try to shape what he would like to have seen and how he wanted it to be shown.
Yeah.
And but also, one of the things that the people at Lucasfilm who are there, I'll call the long haulers that I've talked to, all of them are fucking well aware that they are not bigger than Star Wars, that no one is bigger than Star Wars. And I've known people who've been fired from Lucasfilm who got it in their head for some crazy reason that they were. And it always ends up bad, like when that happens. And I think Filoni's been there long enough and knows exactly that's that you don't,
to do.
yeah. And that's like when you hear the fake stuff on YouTube, they definitely, like the wrestling kind of stuff. It's always people that they always make it sound like he has lost that perspective, and he totally hasn't. So what I think we're going to see is going to see that poster for the Jedi era fleshed out by him.
Yeah.
I can see
and
that.
I know like a lot of the fans don't want to hear it, but Filoni's very supportive of Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh yeah,
as well. Yeah, I think he should be. So yeah, all these people, Filoni's taking over, and he's gonna be the head of Lucas. I'm like, he's not gonna let him run the corporation. He's no background in that.
No.
So when I hear that stuff, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, get some perspective.
No, he's a great creative, but Kathleen Kennedy as a producer and Dave Filoni as a creative are not the same thing whatsoever.
Not by far.
Yeah.
I don't even, and if they offered it to him, I don't even know if he would want it. It's like, hey, you don't get to direct Star Wars anymore. You don't get to really write in it anymore. You just, I don't think he would even be interested in that.
Even Lucas really didn't want to do it. he kind of did it reluctantly. Most creatives don't want to be in a head of a corporation.
Right.
It's not nearly as fun. So when she gets like shit on for like, oh, this, that, she's just the one hiring these guys. They're the ones doing, the damage, if anything damages to get done.
Well, and you compare her to how many other executive producers who have been working for 40 plus years that managed to actually like do their job and get things done. And then when things kind of go bad, they still have the gumption to get up, get it done, and put it out there with, at the best product that they think they can at the time. And you kind of see that in the films that she produces, and I think it rubs off because a lot of folks, associate her with Spielberg and Lucas and all that, and there's just Cameron probably too. So,
right.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if Max can hear it.
It's like
hey, Max, are you there?
Thing.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. One of the comedies of the whole thing to me is that like the only other producer who's probably at her level is Frank Marshall, is her husband.
Or Ron Howard.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, wouldn't that be funny if Rake Marshall was just the one who took over for her when she is done? I don't think that'll happen. I'm guessing when she's done, they're probably both going to be done and wanting to go spend all that sweet cash they made over the years.
Right.
Yep.
But
They're going to put Ryan Johnson in charge.
hello, Max.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Max.
fantastic.
I'm sorry.
We got it.
Our
Yeah.
house was built in the 1930s, and
Is there a ghost?
Yes, and I'm remodeling our house right now, so I can't find a place that looks decent.
No place in my house looks decent at all. So
Same.
It looks like shit, huh?
no, it looks fine. Looks fine. It's at least you're not. It's not like my room. There's just a big pile of laundry right here. Because
Oh,
I was
you have
this
no
weekend.
idea.
I didn't do it. I'm just like,
I have dead bodies in my room.
oh, nice.
Oops, sorry.
Well,
Oh,
no,
Halloween
I
was
mean,
last night, right?
that explains the ghost.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ghostbusters.
so what did you think of the not Mandalorian, the Boba Fett Book of Boba Fett trailer?
I screamed when I saw it because I was actually uploading my pictures from last night on Instagram, and I saw that the trailer was online, so I looked on my TV on Apple TV, and I screamed when I saw that spider thing like walk across because I remember where that was
the
from.
Biomar monk or Bomar
Yeah,
monk.
yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I was really, really excited.
Yeah,
sure.
I have to say, I was like, when I watched it the very first time, I was super excited. When I watched it the second time, I could see how it was how it was a TV show and not a movie. Kind of
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? And I was like a little bit like, man, I kind of wanted more of the movie side of it.
Yeah.
But it's like what James was bringing up is he's like, some of that looks a little Star Trek-y at times, or has a Star Trek vibe at times. And it's because they like are just like, I'm a dog man named Barada. What do you want, Boba Fett? And it's like make him speak Huttese, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I just speak American.
But wasn't
And,
this Star Trek?
it's like that's what it gives you, like Klingon vibes when they
Yeah,
speak English.
you totally could cut that into a Next Generation episode, and you wouldn't notice. It'd be like, oh yeah, this just fits right in.
Yeah, yeah,
My
that's
own best friend.
but it
Did
is
you guys
TV,
like
I
it?
guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
Did you guys like it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, I was having trouble logging on, so I didn't get to hear what y'all
No
were saying.
worries.
Yeah, no, it's
And
fine.
so
It's
Jennifer Beals was in it as a peach-skinned Twi'lek. Oh,
No, was she?
that's what David Lozano here says on the chat.
Are you
Who-
serious?
who is that?
That's
She's
the
from Flashdance.
Wait, she's the Flashdance lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. So wait,
That's awesome. Is she really though?
are you guys
I
telling
hope so.
me
That'd
that
be cool
Boba
if that's
Fett
her.
is gonna bang Flashdance?
You know it. He's gonna be on that throne with that pose.
You see, a Twilight doing the whole bucket thing.
Oh
Damn
my
you,
God.
Robert Rodriguez! You're an animal. You're an animal.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Is that really her?
I hope so. I just noticed this here. He said you
She's
guys
awesome.
noticed
No,
her. as
I
a
knew she
peach-skinned
was
Twi'lek.
somebody. When I saw her, I was like, I know that's somebody, but I didn't put two and two together.
She's awesome.
Well, that's cool if it is.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
because Boba Fett's totally gonna be like, "How's it going,
girl.
Flashdance?"
You
ever been with
the rocket pack before?
In a more horrible sexist time, after Boba was done with him, he'd put the rocket pack on him and just launch him away and be like, "Not my problem," and get on a ship. If it was the
God.
'80s, but
You know,
But-
he is a clone. They could have genetically modified some stuff for him. You know,
right? I mean, I'm
Very
not gonna
popular for
lie.
ladies now.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because if I did clone myself, I'm like, everybody's gonna see me. I'm like, yeah, double that,
Yeah.
so everybody thinks that's me. Yeah.
Who's the character
unaltered.
from American Psycho?
Unaltered.
What's the character's name?
Oh, from Nick and Psycho, dude. Yeah.
Patrick Bateman, I think. Yeah. Patrick Bateman. Some Adventures with Boba with Patrick Bateman.
Yeah. So, all right. I took screenshots of everything, so we will go through it shot by shot, because sifting is what I'm all about. And really quickly, James, how's it going, James? James says, if the rumor that Han and Luke will be in it as a cameo, do you think it will be Alden for Solo or the deep fake Harrison?
Deep fake.
Right now, my assumption is that this is an assumption, is that we're going to see a reshoot of the skiff battle, and that Han and Luke will be in that, and that they will be deep baking that. That is my guess. But who knows?
Who's going to play the weak way?
You know what? If they don't have the original Weequay back, I am out. I am not gonna. I won't watch it. But yeah, but that is my guess, because I feel like if Han and Luke played a major role in this, I think there would be so much more to talk about than what there is. But that was the Tatooine show who had that scoop, so I don't want to co-opt their scoop or anything like that. And I don't know if they had any more solid details on what happens with the cameo.
Well,
but
they got to rip the Band-Aid off eventually, because if they're ever going to do anything substantial with these characters, they can't keep doing the deep fake. So one of these days, they're eventually going to have to recast these roles. They're not going to have a major motion picture with a deep fake Mark Hamill throughout the entire movie, or a 12-episode run of a show with a deep fake Mark Hamill. So they just suck it up, recast the role. We'll get over it. We're all adults here, right? So
yeah. Well, I kind of am.
I can pretend,
Yeah, I can try. I try.
Did y'all notice that? Did y'all notice that on the trailer, his line saying that he was Jabba ruled by fear, but he's gonna rule as respect?
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of like made him maybe not so much of a villain in a way?
They already did. I mean, with him like saving Grogu and stuff. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they've kind of like, he's kind of like the anti-hero now, or
right.
Yeah, I'd say like nobody's a villain in their own mind or their own perspective.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're like a Richard Ramirez or something, you're not like, I want to just bring terror and a horror to the world,
I think they'll make it ambiguous through the season.
Yeah.
But he's gonna obviously at the same time. I mean, he wants to be a what I assume is a non-elected oligarch of Tatooine. So how good is he? I mean, ultimately, he's not like, he's not campaigning like people of Mos Espa and vote for me for the new Jabba. He's like, I'm taking this shit. So he's still a bad guy, and ultimately, I think.
Well, the weird thing is too, is they got to explain, because like, to me, Tatooine is like space Kansas, and like, who wants to be king of Kansas? I mean, it's like, nah, I'm good. You can keep that shit.
I
just lost the Kansas contingency on the chat here.
Yeah. I have family who lives there. I've been there.
Too. Don't worry.
I am not a fan. I'm not a fan. Jesus.
You don't want to be king of Kansas?
No, I don't even want to be associated with it.
What about the band Kansas?
Go to my family in the next Kansas.
But I have to think that, I mean, they will maybe give us a good reason that Tatooine has some kind of significant, some kind of tactical reason, for being important to, like, because if we do belittle it to being space Kansas, we do diminish Jabba the Hutt as being anything of significance as well.
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah, like Paul Blart as the Godfather is what we end up with if we. So it's like I guess like at the end of the day, ruling a planet, even if it's Kansas, the planet, still a lot of power involved in that.
I wonder if they'll ever go into. There had to have been some kind of significance into the backstory of Tatooine at one point, because I know when Kevin J. Anderson was writing the Illustrated Guide to the Galaxy with the Ralph McQuarrie paintings,
right?
He made an offhand comment one time about, because you see all the crashed ships in Mos Eisley and A New Hope, and he said something about, there's a lot of crashed ships on Tatooine. Yeah, and it was like, I never got any context from that statement, so I don't know what was intended by that statement. As in, like, was there supposed to be some kind of like significant backstory of why Tatooine was actually this like, nexus of the Star Wars galaxy? Space Kansas is the most important planet ever.
I
Yeah,
think it's just because it's like right next to the outer rim. It's the closest planet to the outer rim, basically.
But I mean, Luke makes it sound like he's living in like, somewhere in, Podunk, Kentucky, where it's like,
yeah, the planet that's furthest from the brightest center
yeah,
of the galaxy.
yeah,
And I feel like in a big way, like thematically with Star Wars, it comes down to George Lucas's well-placed Napoleon syndrome or whatever, because Napoleon complex. He always wanted to tell the story of the little guy actually being able to be more powerful and take over things that are, do more than you would have thought, judge me by my size, do you? And all that kind of stuff. Willow, it's like always been like a theme. And like in a weird way, Tatooine is it's the tiniest planet.
Sounds a man
It's not,
complex.
Most
yeah,
honestly, yeah, it's like a Tijuana, and then Jakku is like a flea market.
yeah, but it's like the idea is that these places that are deemed inconsequential by dominant power structures actually aren't. Everything matters, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone matters, and everyone has this potential to be great. And Tatooine gives us some of the greatest heroes. I think is kind of ties into that theme. If you want to make it all work in your mind, now if you want to get super realistic about it, you're like, well, okay, like it's essentially the Middle East of Earth, and a lot of significant people came from there, but not all of them. And same thing with the Star Wars galaxy in the end. You do have your right across the bay, you have your Naboo from Tunisia.
This is a movie about space wizards. It needs to be taken serious.
Right. Yeah, and that's where I'm like, it's a weird line, isn't it? Because it's like on one hand, it does have to be a who gives a shit what's fun. Like at the end of the day, that's like what needs to be like the real thing. But then at the same time, you're like, there is valid criticism in saying things like, if everybody knows each other, the galaxy does diminish to some extent. It does become smaller. But I feel like I said, I feel like Boba is the exception to that because he is in the mix. Darth Vader is in the mix. But smaller characters, newer characters, or whatever, I don't think should be as intertwined. I mean, there were times when I really do believe that, or actually, I think it's been kind of confirmed that the idea was on the table that Boba Fett was going to be Darth Vader's brother for a time. He considered it. It was like maybe that's what he is. Not to say it was, but it was like maybe that's what he is.
You want me to read Jabba's description from my little old Star Wars
Is that the
universe book here?
The updated second edition version?
Wait, what is that book called?
It's called The Guide to the Star Wars Universe, 3rd edition by Bill Slavicsek.
Yeah.
Is that the one from the 80s? Did that come out originally in the 80s?
It did, and that's the updated version.
Because I think that's
Phantom Menace.
I think that's the only place in the world that I ever saw the Mandalorian mentioned in text. Up until the Star Wars poster book from the 70s that I got later on.
I believe you're correct, yeah. Or the Empire Strikes Back, didn't that mention that in the sketchbook?
Yeah, here we go. Mandalore system. Yeah. Mandalore, a mercenary warlord who he conquered a planet that later took his name about 4,000 years before the Galactic Civil War.
Yeah.
He wore a full-face metal mask and was the model for the Mandalore super commandos of later generations.
So Bill Slavicsek worked at West End. He was the guy that did the first edition of the role-playing book and did a lot of their books. And then Bill Smith kind of was the heir apparent and took over the line in the early to mid 90s.
Okay.
But Bill was still around. It's Bill Slavicsek that wrote that. And so that probably came out shortly after like Tales of the Jedi kind of era, which is why the Mandalore reference in there is to that comic line.
Well, here's Jabba's thing. Jabba the Hutt, the notorious crime lord who ran his organization from the planet Tatooine, one of the major criminal kingpins in the Outer Rim territories. His organization involved a wide variety of illegal activities, including smuggling, spice dealing, slave trading, assassination, loan sharking, protection, and piracy. Born Jabba Delishchik Turire, He was raised and trained by his father Zorba on a private estate on Nal Hutta.
Fucking
Oh,
Zorba.
Oh, here we go. By the time he was 600 years old, Jabba had surpassed his father. His desert palace on Tatooine, built around the ancient Bomar monastery,
that is a
was full of decadent luxuries. An army of alien and human criminals, droid slaves, fawning servants. Let's see.
And the best party drugs in the desert.
And the rest
that,
is
that's
talking about
probably
him and
the
Solo.
worst name for a character in
That
Star
was
Wars
his full
history,
name?
Zorba the Hutt.
Yeah, his full
Zorba.
name again for Max is Jabba Desiljic Ture.
Hi.
In case anybody isn't familiar with a Zorba, that is Zorba the Hutt there.
Oh, nice.
Bearded Hutt.
Oh my god. Awesome.
Oh my god.
I love it. It's so dumb. I love it when they make the Hutts ridiculous, like the ripped Hut in the new comic and the old
That
mobster
makes
looking
more
ones.
And Geezer the Hut,
Pizza the Hut. He looks
my boyfriend. No,
You
Geezer
taste delicious.
from Tatooine Rhapsody.
Okay. I thought you said Pizza the Hut. I was like, yeah,
No.
he was good too.
Him too. Yeah, he looked good enough to eat.
He did.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the Jedi novelization actually says that like Jabba had lost all of his hair or something, like, you know. And I'm just like, what?
He permed his hair too much.
Well, you know,
It
hey,
fell out.
it's not a bad look, you know.
Cultural appropriation.
And of course, as always, we have a naked Luke, not Luke Skywalker, but Luke Winchester
In the
in the tub before the pub, ready for a
Nice.
lovely, relaxing boba bath.
Mm,
As
That's
always.
Grab that bar of soap
nice.
and run it up and down your body.
That's really good.
It is pretty good. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is the opening shot. And just Tatooine doing Tatooine stuff. And then we got that guy that I
I love
had to order
I want
from
a
the
toy.
Star
I want
Wars
a toy of
Insider
that.
fan club to get the action figure. Remember that?
That's so awesome. No, I don't remember that.
I gotta find one now.
I'm not a big nostalgia guy, but this was like, okay, that's badass.
He was
Yeah.
that was in A New Hope, right?
He's in
No,
Return of the Jedi. When you see 3PO entering Jabba's palace as he's walking in, you can see the
Walks
little
behind
spider
him.
guy walk by, and 3PO's like, oh, like,
Oh, yeah,
spiders. I don't like spiders, kind of thing.
What's the liquid in there? What do you think?
It's a brain. It's a brain.
Is
and
it?
The idea and the backstory from the expanded universe was that the Biomor monks lived in Jabba's palace. Those are all monasteries. And that the Hutts just took it over. They just straight up like said, it's ours now, bitch. And they're like, oh, we're spider guys. What are we going to do about it? But they still live there for some reason.
I really I like that a lot.
And when you watch the Clone Wars movie, we see another palace, another Biomor Jabba's palace style thing, and I believe there is one in there too. So that idea was retained.
That's awesome.
It makes me think of Return of the Living Dead through Part 3. I can smell your brain.
It's too bad. It's too bad Rob isn't here to tell us about the Tales from Jabba's Palace story about this.
Yeah, he loves it. If anybody loves Tales from Jabba's Palace, just make sure you tweet at Sketchcraft. Let's talk about Tales from Jabba's Palace. He loves it.
It's like Jay Leno in Cars.
Oh God, but yeah, and then we see the little monk walking towards the palace, which I love this stuff. There's really nothing to this when you get down to it, but we're seeing Jabba's palace, this place that I've seen since I was 3 years old, and I'm just like, wow. So the images I had in my head, it's cool to see things like this actually coming to fruition. And maybe it's just because the nature of the beast, but I feel like Dave Filoni and Favreau and now Robert Rodriguez with them, I feel like they're playing with their action figures and they're telling stories that they wanted to tell with their action figures as kids in a way, and they're bringing it to the screen.
Jealous.
Oh, I'm not jealous. I'm elated. I am happy that we're seeing it happen, because I mean it's pretty awesome. And see right here, look on the corner there. That's a pit droid, correct?
Yeah.
So because I got the vibe first time I watched it, I was like, oh, the monk is giving him the no, it's a pit droid. So yeah, which is also going to be weird, but also this is Tatooine. I mean, you can't really remove that. But I did used to have, like I said, I did used to have this working theory, and it was about there being sort of spheres of canon, if you will. I don't know if spheres of canon is the right way of putting it, but essentially when you're on Tatooine, you have two different Tatooines, the way I used to see it. And or I do see it. And it's like you have the Lars homestead, and that is very much a Western. But when you get into the Jabba's palace, it's more about like the grotesque, and it's burping and farting and eating frogs and little lizard people and just ridiculousness.
It's the sideshow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a completely different like thing than the Lars homestead.
It's like an ancient Rome thing, with feeding the lions in the Sarlacc pit, And
Jim Rose Circus, here we come.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, so you wouldn't necessarily you don't necessarily, show a fart at the Lars homestead, but you can show a fart at Jabba's palace. It's completely in fair use at that point. And so pit droids are the three, like the Three Stooges pit droid act is one of the things that's become very famous post Phantom Menace. We got the scenes added in with the Three Stooges pit droid act was added into the DVD release of the Phantom Menace and the cut scene or the extended scenes. Mm. It was then added to Star Tours, and it was then added to The Mandalorian when we get to the Mos Eisley sequence. And so, but now we're seeing pit droids that are giving Boba his clothes. He gets dressed with them now, which is weird. It's like having Ricky Bobby put your clothes on for you.
His eyes look a little bit different, I think.
It's his Dobby.
His what?
His Dobby.
From Harry Potter. If he gives the stock, it's free.
They should have had that little ape guy from Rise of Skywalker that repairs Kylo's helmet. He's like the go-to guy to repair helmets for Star Wars. So you need a helmet.
The hairy hands,
monkey guy.
Yeah, the hairy hands monkey man.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
And then, we got, and I know. Hopefully Rob wakes up and Rob's like, "Oh, hey everybody, what's going on today?" And we're like, "Rob, where you been, man? Don't you know?" I'm gonna see if he's messaged us.
It's been 5 years. We need you now.
I just saw Allison message me. Sorry, Allison, I didn't see that until just now. Let me see. I will send Allison a link. Wait, if it'll let me, will it let me? Because I would like. Hold on, I'm sorry for lagging everything up with this, but
okay.
I'm going to invite Allison on because Allison's free. Why not? The more the merrier, I always say.
Chat, it says, or Nike Hike says Cobb Vanth in Book of Boba. Yes, no, maybe. But yeah.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure he'll pop up at least one episode.
Yeah. It would make sense.
I kind of think they're going to end up giving Cobb Vanth back Mando armor eventually.
Yeah, that's a good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems to like it. He seems to want it. And then at the end of the day, we don't really know. I don't think we know too much about his backstory overall. We know about his plight and the situation he was in. But to an extent, if they drop the cultist foundling kind of thing, but keep the foundling aspects of that, I don't know why he couldn't become one of them.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. And he looks, I still think Timothy Oliphant looks the best in the armor out of anybody. I think he looks better than any of them in it. Like I saw the action figure for him the other day. I was like, man, that guy just looks the coolest. And I'm so glad that I'm hearing they are developing for him.
I like it. He's skinny though. I mean, not though, but
he's very slender.
Very skinny, slender. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He's jacked and he's ribbed, but he's very slender.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just
no.
I like that Santa Clarita Diet show he was on with Drew Barrymore. That was a great show. That was awesome.
All right.
Fun to watch.
Allison.
Hello, Allison.
I wrote her theme song just now.
Well, good for you. It's awesome. Simply amazing. Yeah.
So, okay, that was about my theme song and not the Book of Boba, right?
No.
What did you, Allison? What did you think?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
It hit the spot.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
We're talking about the trailer, right? Not the song? Because don't quit your day job.
The song, yeah, the song specifically, but yeah,
Don't
but
quit your day
the
job.
trailer.
The trailer, on the other hand.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I am going to say that I like the costume looking all clean in these dark shots. That's like a pretty dark, moody looking show overall. A lot of, I don't know, if I think film noir lighting might be the way of looking at this. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it reminds me
but-
of Game of Thrones, kind of.
Yeah, but it's like this shot right here. This is that ivory tower, right? That we see in the
background.
other. I wasn't sure, but it looks like when you look out the window here, I was wondering if that was what that is.
That looks.
Jabba's bedroom.
Well, he's no
Penthouse suite.
Rapunzel with that bald head, that's for sure.
That's a good one. It's in the back.
All right, I should be like George Costanza. I'm out.
Mandalorians never manscape, so think about that.
I love Mandalorians for that
Just
reason.
make sure I have some gravy in there, please.
He turns around and there's actually a ponytail behind his head in the back.
Yeah, but there he is, putting the helmet back on from that the pit droid gave him. And yeah, so I guess like the question is this the top of Jabba's palace, or is this that ivory tower we see later on?
Yeah,
could be
we need like
either.
an MTV Cribs style Jabba's palace, where the magic happens.
Outside, the windows outside of the ivory tower, because we could probably match the window if we get any shots of it.
And it matches
Well,
the curtains.
James, what do you think the odds are that this is like the Lincoln bedroom? The ghost of Jabba is said to haunt it.
That Force Ghost Jabba, hell yeah, I'm in for that. They need to have Bill Hader do the voice.
Yeah, I'd be on board for that.
The only Lincoln Jabba would be has leaving Lincoln logs.
Now, we never found out what happened to Stinky after the Clone Wars movie, though. So what's up with that?
Yeah, Stinky
He's
Baby
still living
Rhoda.
He's hanging out with Kitster.
Yeah, there's a show.
I think remember that 70s show Rhoda
Yes.
with the D. Well, maybe he went on to star in Rhoda, the Star Wars version of it.
Rhoda.
Rhoda. Yeah.
The Mary Tyler show. Her?
Yes. Rhoda. This right here, this sequence here, this is the same place that they film everything down at Manhattan Beach on the exterior. Is that I visit? This is the set. This was built down there. This is the same place where what you're seeing is okay. In the Mandalorian when season 1, when IG-11 has Grogu and is about to murder him in that room, and they cut the door out like in that Wonder Bread looking shape of bread. That's that right there. That's the same exact space. You're like literally looking at where that set used to be, and now it's this set.
A Galaxy Edge vibe from that.
Yeah. And it like I said, it has all of the framing around it is that same Ralph McQuarrie like pattern that we saw in Jakku. So part of me started to wonder for a time, is that Jakku? Are they going to make that Jakku stuff? But it's probably just a new settlement on Tatooine that Boba has to deal with, because I've seen a lot of other Tatooine settlements. Like
would that be a Bomar monk monastery then in the back left?
I don't think so.
There? No.
I mean, I could be wrong. Who knows, right? But I don't think so. I think this is run by the Hammerhead guys. Remember that the Hammerhead that we see later on.
Mm-hmm.
I think this place is run by the Hammerhead gang, and one of the Hammerhead people, one of the actors, like leaked a bunch of stuff. I think
I like the Hammerhead.
I want to see.
Yeah,
one
I like to
fight. I want to see one in action. See how that works.
Yeah.
Does it just whip out their head and just go whip it at you?
Yeah, see right here. You can see them going into that establishment, if you will. And like I said, this set was up for a long ass time, so I think a lot of significant filming took place here.
They make a good couple, I think.
Fennec and Boba.
Like on a romantic level too.
Yeah,
I do
Yeah.
seriously. I think they look good.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
damn Django vibe.
yeah. Do you think they are romantic?
Well, he's
I
got her
hope
by the
so.
guts.
What was that?
He's got her by the guts, literally.
That's so
true.
funny. And by her balls. Sorry.
Yeah. No, don't be sorry.
No,
That
please
fits the
don't.
show.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then we got some costumes from the last season of The Mandalorian being reused here. It looks like to me pieces of costumes anyway,
And my hat's in the background.
right there.
Hanging. Yeah. No, in the background. Like hanging.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Fennec. I on one hand, I like that Fennec's thing doesn't have like glass in the front of it there. But man, it
Yeah.
would look a lot cooler if it had a glass like visor over it.
Doesn't she got like a little?
What doesn't one slide down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Like
It does.
Zoe Bliss's?
Yeah, yeah. It's more like Lando Calrissian's helmet in a way. I think.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, here I am incognito. Nobody knows who I am now. Yeah.
Who loved you, baby?
And here he is. And right here in the background, you can see that print I was talking about that was on top of the building. Right here. All of like this tile and this right here. That like is like along everything on these sets.
That is great. That is an awesome shot.
Yeah.
I do want to see one with the blue turquoise tunic.
Yeah.
I know it was in Rebels, but I would like to see it in live action.
Yeah. Me too.
Do you know
There
what I'm
it
talking
is.
about? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
You're right back. Got a cat being a stupid cat.
Stupid cats do what they want. Yeah, so this right here is this Tatooine?
Yeah.
I think so.
From the old Doug Chang production art from
This is the Two
Phantom
Towers.
Menace. Looks
The
like
wrong
it.
movie.
That is so awesome. It's so
Yeah, it is.
awesome.
That's impressive for a TV show.
It is.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
live there.
Well, there's even more settlements on top of the cliff too in the background. It keeps going.
I don't mean to be a huge nerd here, but I'm going to be a huge nerd here. Is this the canyon that Anakin pod races through?
Oh, you
Maybe.
very well could be.
I mean, doesn't that kind of look like that little like space
little
where he
Step
comes out?
weird
Like,
for a
did
sec.
a city spawn up in there after?
Why
Or
not?
did they just reuse some assets from Phantom Menace to save money?
Yeah, built a city inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that shot is fucking great.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's like
Yeah,
it looks like Rogue One. It's like Rogue One quality Jeddah looking stuff.
It's a shot that makes you want to have a big TV or make sure you have a big TV for.
Yeah,
It's great.
and when I had that Obi-Wan scoop from a few days ago now, and I was talking about like, is that Tatooine? Do you guys see what I'm talking about all the time? Is that Tatooine? Like, that's just like the fucking general question of everything with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I like if I had seen this, before, I would be like, is that Tatooine? I still don't know.
It's actually
But-
Arrakis.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, like the architecture here that you can see kind of in the front of the closest building to us, it does kind of have some Tatooine aspects to it. And even like the shapes of the sides here is the same stuff we see on Tatooine. So I am leaning towards it being Tatooine in it and potentially being the area. Maybe Mos Espa has grown a lot into the track now.
Why don't we have anything like that here?
Right?
Right? It looks cool.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it looks like it just keeps going back there.
Maybe it's Vegas, like how Vegas sprawled.
Space Vegas. There you go.
And right here we have Boba Fett's chair. and I wonder if this says something or if that's just it probably says like
It says
don't sit
making
in my
Star Wars backwards. I could see it.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's Moochie's headstone.
It's got great lumbar support, and it vibrates.
Yeah. And then we see this character who I'm not sure that's not Black Sun clothes, is it? I really couldn't tell.
No, that's some
Got some-
sort of other.
Something else.
It looks almost like that Naboo kind of Captain Panaka.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, it does look like
Leather.
He looks very
Yeah.
Naboo, I think.
Yeah.
But when you look in the back here, you can see that same print I was talking about before with the Ralph McQuarrie alphabet. That's what I call it. And so this is definitely the Thorian's place. And look, we have a fat Gamorrean guard, which made me happy because there's nothing I hate more than skinny ass. Look at those man boobs. Look at those pot tits. He's smoking a lot of weed. Is that his smoke right there, or is that the Gamorrean guard with the pot tits smoke? You decide.
I'm gonna guess it's from the blaster, but it would be pretty cool if it was from that too. So.
Yeah.
Just gonna say.
And then we have this one over here.
The logical one, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you ask me what's going on here, Boba Fett's here. This one's smoking pot, and this one over here is peeing in the corner. That's my analysis of the shot.
But back to the Lars Homestead not using farts. I thought that's how his chair moved along after he lost that leg.
Yeah, true. And then we got this one with this guy with the good hair doing the same shot.
So if they're both in the same outfit, could they be representing a different planet or a different guild or a different gang?
I think it's the Hammerheads boys.
I think he was actually at the Ren Fair and got lost.
Not enough chainmail.
Oh, I'm on Mando now. He's like Gene's guy.
Oh, I'm gonna go there. Was it the Kylo Ren Fair? Okay. Anyways. And then we have a more fit Gamorrean guard here, which I do not approve of. I like my Gamorrean guards fat and ready to eat.
It's Chris Pratt.
That's the guy. He's like pulling up his pants from peeing in the corner.
Yeah. Like this one, this is like a Gamorrean guard with a good dad bod. You know what I mean? He's not fat, but he's fat.
Oh my god. Y'all are funny.
We've gone from Space Kansas to Space Arkansas.
Real quick.
Make sure Rob hasn't jumped in here. Where are you at, Rob? Damn it.
Yeah, usually by the time we
Rogue's
come on.
1138. Yeah, she's always looked sexy with a big gun. Well, she's a size queen, so.
Oh,
She's
damn.
beautiful.
Oops. Did we go to the next one yet?
Yeah, she is. She's quite
She's
beautiful.
gorgeous. I can't believe she's over 50, man. She doesn't age.
That's how I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the way.
Keep it up.
I won't look like that.
Yeah. Being a vampire has its perks.
Yeah, no, I was saying the other day, like I knew that she was cast in the role, or not in the role of being the Boba Fett show, but hey, Rob's here. Robbie the robot.
Full house.
Hey, sleepyhead.
You guys.
Hey, sleepyhead.
You guys. What you guys do for 90 seconds of trailer is amazing. 90 seconds of see you in a month. You know?
Yeah.
Yep. I mostly just got here, so it's all good.
So was that your takeaway? Were you excited, or was it a whole big old who gives a shit?
It's fine. It's just anticlimactic. So like it needed to end on like a what the fuck moment because it's not trending on Twitter. Like I woke up and I was like, oh look at that. And I guarantee you, if it had ended with maybe some of those rumored, Meg moments, right? Yeah. Then, like, whatevs, dude. Just anything where, like, he, like, murders everyone and, commits a fucking Michael moment, like a Godfather Michael moment. Or that, what was it? Was it Dick Tracy where he machine gunned down all the dudes at the table or something? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I like your placement in the chat because whenever somebody corrects you, it goes right over your face and is like, no, 2 months before release.
Can I tell you what I did like before they all fucking say Rob doesn't like everything? Like,
Yes.
I'm glad to see the Sinkhole City show up. The one that from the Phantom Menace, the concept art, right? That was originally going to be Maz Espa, is going to be that sinkhole. You know,
we just talked about that like
we were
last
just
week.
talking about that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were all three of us were talking about that on Friday, right?
Yep. Yeah, we were talking about that on
Rob brought
Friday.
it up.
Yeah.
So
But there's-
Rob, is that city in the is that in the pod race track?
No.
No. I mean, not originally. I mean now.
No. Originally,
Okay.
but not now. Yeah.
Because when I'm
For
looking
some
at
reason, Lucas thought it would be great to make it, you know, basically another Mos Eisley. I don't know, a less threatening Mos Eisley, but that's what it was supposed to be, Mos Espa.
Well, because there was when they were doing the ragtag game, they did another version of it, and it was basically the city in the canyon wall, like the canyon walls here, had it all of it built in. That one was called Mos El Rey in the game, and
Mos El Rey.
Rodriguez was like, "Yeah, that's right."
Right.
Do they sell tacos there?
Pretty much.
Do you know
Pretty
that?
much.
Awesome.
What kind of burrito do
Yeah,
you want?
we're just gonna good look at my fat
So
ass.
what does Moss stand for? If every town on Tatooine starts with Moss,
Yeah.
that's
like
that.
maybe it's like in like Spanish
it's like
or-
L. It's like L, but in Tatooine, it's Mos. Right?
Mas is more.
Mos.
No quiero mas.
He was being creative and he moved from L from Los Angeles to M.
Los Angeles.
I was gonna call it bushy, but yeah, there's no bushes. I mean, they are, but just not, you know, locally. Like, well, I mean, there are, but you know, not, you know what I mean.
Bushes
They don't shave. I'm trying to say they don't shave in Mos Eisley.
And I'm gonna take it that you are of the opinion, as am I, that this is all from the first episode.
Yeah, probably from the first. If it's the 30-minute episode, it's the first 30-minute episode, right? And they're not showing you the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
you know, the thing at the end, you know, because he's not gonna be like, yeah, tell me what you don't like, and then he goes, I don't like you. You're right. Yeah, it's not how. If that's how it goes, then this has been a colossal waste of everyone's time. But it's not going to go that way. It can't, like, unless Robert Rodriguez literally just punked us all. It's going to be the most mind-blowing thing ever, and then they just sort of talk stuff out and get along. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. So cinematography looks great, you know. I think it did a good job balancing between the smaller look of A New Hope, right? Like and still maintaining, you know, some of those Rogue One style like shots, you know. So yeah, I like that. It's his armor's a little more dinged up, which is nice. I still like that crazy dinged up armor when he first got it back, and the episode Rodriguez directed. So and it's not looking like they shot it out in the hills in Hollywood, right? Like unlike that episode that he directed where at times you're like, this is where the Bionic Man fought. Steve, right? This is where the Bionic Man used to get into fights, like around some rocks.
I think I saw the helicopter from MASH fly over there, and some of the second unit work from MASH.
Hey, look, Kirk is being chased by a lizard guy up a mountain. There we go.
Oh, we're gonna see that in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Don't worry.
Interesting. Interesting aside. So last night I sat through the first 30 minutes of the first Young Indiana Jones Chronicles because it was 2 a.m. and I was waiting to see this trailer would drop, and I was like, Jason said I should watch it, so I watched it, at least the first 30 minutes. And there's one of their first lens flare digital inserts, but it doesn't move, and people walk like they block the sun and the lens flare still in front of them. It's super fun to watch. And then this opened up with a lens flare that tracks with the shot, which I was like, look how far they've come in 30 years, you know. Sorry.
So y'all knew that this was going to drop? I didn't know. I haven't. So I was working a lot this week. So
Jason knows everything, man. He's like, it could drop tomorrow, which to me means it could drop at midnight. So I just stayed up just in case,
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to drop today, but it just kind of, it's like a month out, or 2 months really, like whoever said that. So it just felt like kind of the right time. Also, isn't that Disney convention coming up soon, like D24 or whatever it is?
Yeah.
So that was the thing, is that I knew that something was coming today. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I don't want to take away from BSL. Big Screen Leaks at Twitter were a week ago was the first one to say it publicly, and then so I retweeted their tweet last night, basically insinuating that something could be coming, and I was of the mindset I had heard that we were going to get something today. And I thought it was just going to be that dumb poster. Was the cynical side of me, that poster that will never get released officially, probably. And I was like, okay, so because on November 11th we have that Disney Day, that Disney Plus Day.
That was the thing I was thinking of.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see more then, obviously. And but now I am more optimistic that Disney Plus Day might be showing us more of Cassian and Kenobi as well. I was under, my take was it's all going to be from Book of Boba, and we're going to come maybe a shot or two of behind.
He should have just roasted all those dudes at the end of the trailer. You know what I mean? Just let just fire spray them. Fire spray. Right? You go, this is the way. Fire spray.
Fire spray.
And hammerheads, they're all melting and on fire. It's great.
Or he goes, this is my way, right? Like he changes it a little bit, right? It's a little bit.
It's my way or the fire spray.
Hello. Yeah. It's my way or the fire. And then it's that, in the first Batman, in the 89 Batman, when he zaps that dude and it spins around, it's a little charred dude. And they do that. It's all of them now.
Ooh, got a live one.
Yeah.
Moss is Tatooine ringworm. Okay, I'll take that. Hey, how's it going, Ben?
They don't wear shoes in Mos Espa. That's the problem, right?
No.
They wore shoes, you'd avoid it. So.
Ben says, quick takeaway, that trailer was great. I think he said it like Tony the Tiger. That trailer was great. We were pretty much implying it was going to be a crime syndicate setup. That's exactly what we got. Totally has a mob gangster feel to it. Yeah, exactly.
The puppets, the makeup works great.
Yeah.
In that room, the lighting and the makeup work on them, it's the most continuation of the Mos Eisley look, right, from the 70s I've seen, like in that consistent tone. Like it.
Did you like the spider?
I love all those. Yeah, the spider from Jabba's palace was one of my favorite looking things. Yeah, so that looked great. So yeah.
I screamed and my cat ran off. Yeah.
I was like, oh look, it's a spider. That's awesome. That's all I was talking about when we came out of the movie initially. Like,
did you know spiders are actually afraid of spiders? Yeah, read that article this week in Science Weekly. Yeah, it turns out the spiders are just as afraid of other spiders as we are because they look weird.
It doesn't surprise me. They're cannibalistic.
Yeah, they're like spiders.
Ben says, I assumed we were going to get it during Monday Night Football tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if it does play during Monday Night Football tonight, and they were, it's so two different audiences in the end. I think overall,
it's such a 2002 idea, though.
Yeah. Hey, Santa. Me and Star Wars Santa were supposed to be covering episode 9, the themes of it. We've been doing a series on that, then this got in the way again. But hopefully next week we can do it.
So like episode 9, the themes are rewrites, right? Like, you rewrote the show.
You went there. But yeah. But and to just this shot once again is not really significant, but at the same time, it is saying a lot in the context of the Mandalorian TV show. This guy takes his helmet off constantly, just like his dad. He doesn't give a shit.
Damn, this thing is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old wardrobe choice for the desert. All black with a helmet.
I have to imagine it has some kind of space age air conditioning unit in it, though.
It recycles the moisture and it refills you.
Yeah. Hey, that's
I'm a double mask.
I
your
heard
favorite
Boba,
movie there, huh?
yeah, Boba Fett drinks his piss just like Kevin Costner in Waterworld.
Yeah. Go House Atreides. We drink piss.
Yeah.
I think
What?
that's anybody in the
What?
silk.
Separate through that
Yeah.
suit, son.
Yeah.
Make that
I want to
shirt,
see
Rob.
all the fans live up to the ideals. When they go to Comic-Con, when that Comic-Con is a thing again, I want them to wear those suits so I don't have to smell them.
I can
How
get
great is
behind
that?
that. Yeah, I can get behind that. That I'm fully with you on that, Rob.
That's a great shot. I like the establishing shots, right? Which the sequels sort of lost for whatever reason. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And then here
Yeah,
we have
the lighting there is great.
Now we're into Next Generation.
Yeah, no, like everybody looks like the traditions look better than they did. The Barada guys look better, I'd say, than they did in the last season of Mandalorian. But
Next
it's not
Generation.
English. Don't speak American for once in this country. Don't speak American.
Make it so.
Speak space lizard. Speak space dog. But yeah, I mean, but you're right. That lighting is they have a thing going on in a lot of these shots, and like I don't know if it's what's hitting on. I don't know if it's film noir lighting, but it's like outside light is shining in on the inside. It reminds me of that opening scene from Green Knight when the Green Knight walks into the thing, and you can see that like it looks like it's nighttime and there's like fire on the inside, but it's you can see like there's like little lights on the outside, so it kind of makes this like darkness within kind of vibe. I'm a big fan.
Also, it looks like Boba Fett eats the turkey leg at Star Wars Galaxy because that's going to cause some constipation. Like if you look at the big bone down there.
How long until somebody does a Last Supper painting of this?
Wait, they haven't already?
I've seen
Rob, get on
for
it.
this, but I've
Do
already
it,
seen
Rob.
stuff from episode 9 for that.
Yeah, Rob, I'll let you do that one.
No, that's too much effort. You know, Trandoshans actually speak in farts. That's probably why they're speaking in basic.
In what?
It's, yeah, it's true.
In farts?
It's a gas planet.
Yeah. And there is
They
a
naturally
Barada.
produce dioxys.
So let me be a complete geek here, and the Barada people are Klatooians.
Klatooie. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah,
It's confusing.
I know that.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
Verata
They're from
Nikto.
It's like the
Excellent.
Barada people are from the same planet as the Klaatu people.
Yeah, and then one of them's named Nikto.
Yeah, so there's Mantooine, Dantooine, Klatooine, and Tatooine.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Steve Tuine.
Yeah, well, you don't want to know what happens on Faptuine. Trust
Oh my
me.
god!
No.
Look at the bellies on those guys. In the back.
Yeah, look at that. Look at those fat fuckers. Good job. Get fat, Gamorreans. I like where you go with
They're
this.
actually slimmed down compared to the older ones, so they must be
They
on hard
did.
times.
Yeah.
They
right?
need one to do the truffle shuffle.
Yeah.
They look
That's how they
right.
get into Boba Fett's palace now. They do the truffle shuffle.
That would be perfect.
It's demeaning though.
When I first saw that with the Gamorrean, I was like, "Oh, look, he's doing the Michael Myers." Oh, no, he is in the foreground. Okay.
Tell us again how Luke Skywalker came and used your bathroom.
I remember that old scene in from Star Wars: The Jedi: The Making of a Saga, when Mark Hamill's talking about the Gamorrean guards falling on him if he doesn't move out of the way, and he's all because they weigh like 200 pounds. I remember when I hit 200 pounds, I was like, I'm as fat as a Gamorrean guard now.
Something tells me Hamill doesn't tell that story anymore.
No, he would get in trouble. And boy, are they more than 200 pounds? I'd say.
One of them was
the,
like Bert Kreischer.
I'll never forget that making of when it introduced Darth Vader and it calls him the Dark Lord of the Sith. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, you know what? That and they made these coins in 1989, and it was like you could buy a silver coin of Darth Vader, and it's like the TV guide or something like that, and you could write away for more information. I, of course, as being a child, didn't have enough to buy that Franklin Mint bullshit, but I sent away with my. I found a stamp in my grandma's drawer. I'm like, taking this, Grandma. And I was like, I like more information. She sent that away, mailed it away, and I got this pamphlet back for the coin set. They were really trying to sell me the gold ones. Gold. And inside of it, though, it talked about how Darth Vader was this Dark Lord of the Sith and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is feeling real. Is he really a Sith Lord? Is that really a thing?
Does
And
Jesse
that was-
still have his guide to the Star Wars universe handy? Because I believe that was one of the first ever like official mentions of the Sith and what they were was in that publication, and it's probably got some interesting nuggets
I thought
in
it was
there.
also mentioned in the original novelization.
Yeah, but that was the first time they kind of went in and said like what they were. It didn't just mention them; it actually said like the Sith are this whatever it says in there.
Weird lizard.
Probably changed now too, so it's probably no longer accurate.
It even has Darth Sidious in here.
Oh, okay, so that one's super updated.
Oh yeah, that's much more recent copy.
Yeah,
then.
it's the third. It's got the Phantom Menace and.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that came out in the 90s, that was like a big deal because it like said like the Sith were like the sanctioned blah blah blah.
Yeah, here's
it
is.
Gave a very vague Reader's
Sith.
Digest.
Yeah, an ancient people, they were conquered by powerful dark side magic. Over their 100,000-year history, they came close to vanquishing the Jedi several times. Some 4,000 years before the Galactic Civil War, they battled the Jedi in a conflict that was known as the Sith War. They maintain an unbroken line of chief practitioners known as Dark Lords of the Sith. Since an internal conflict 2,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, the Sith were reduced to 2 members, a master and an apprentice.
Kinky.
How did the
Weird
Jedi
eyes.
even know about this? I mean, when they became the only 2? Because I thought they were like went into hiding.
Yeah, they're gonna have to explain that one.
No, they don't.
Hiding from secrets.
No, they don't.
Spoilers, they
That's
don't.
the problem.
They don't.
Just letting you know now. Never
Do
happened.
you think Darth Vader introduces himself as Darth Sidious's sub, or do you think he just says I'm his apprentice?
He wears a lot of leather.
There's a lot of leather,
Yeah,
a lot of
does.
master and apprentice.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So they're eating space turkey for Thanksgiving, and then we
That's
got,
the look. Gonna eat that shit yourself? The whole fucking
Yeah.
thing? You didn't even say meal leg?
I like how this one has a full-on pussy butt face, and this one has a hairy pussy butt face. Like they kind of like did the spectrum of those guys right there.
He's not wrong.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
But it does look. I always thought that they have that type of face.
looking at me like that?
Their face looks like a vagina. It always has.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And Nine Num also did too.
Well, they decided
Nine Num is labia. He's all labia.
He's labia face.
Yeah.
Didn't anybody say like, hey guys, look, it looks a little pussyish, like
So like make it more pussyish. Add more pussy to it. Is what they said.
You don't know John Dykstra very well, man.
add a mustache. Oh my
Dykstra's like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Free boobs.
Yeah, the
Free
Dykstra
boobs.
flex. You know, it's a move.
Oh my god.
This shot in a weird way reminds me of some Attack of the Clones, which also, by the way, if you guys ever watch Attack of the Clones, when you see Jango Fett on those on the balconies, notice that he's standing in a giant pussy because he really truly is.
Well, the whole actually on the whole thing in Attack of the Clones on Geonosis looked like a whole bunch of labias.
Yeah,
right?
bunch of pussy, and but the shot right here is not a pussy shot. It is it's more of an archway.
This is where Broom Boy like swoops over and says, "What's up?" Right, he just flies on his
Hey,
broom.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know I haven't been born yet because this obviously takes place 30 years later. But I'm just here. How you doing? All right, bye.
It's his dad. His dad is because from a long line of chimney sweeps.
Yeah.
It's Broom Big Boy. It's
This is
Big
where
Boy.
Tango awkwardly asks her out on a date. And she's
No
like,
taking
"Can
it."
we use that pickup line?"
You want to take a ride?
Who
on
knew
that
Jabba
man?
had like a sweet hangout spot at the top of that palace? Though?
Oh, you knew
Right.
he did.
It wasn't any of the West End Games technical journals. Here's what Jabba gets laid. You know, like he shows them, look at my desert.
I
then
could
he
be wrong,
slips
but
him.
it's almost the same as the Mos Espa like balcony shot in a weird way, like where Jabba's watching the pod race. It kind of has like very much the same composition and like little mini baby set vibe to
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's got
He's
Thrawn
thunder.
in
He
here,
hates
too.
sand.
Here's where we let Willow hang out.
And man,
They bring
Or
Billy
Satan
Barty back as a force ghost for
assassin.
Willow.
Pussy Willow.
So-
Daddy.
is this the top of the of the
That's
new
palace,
city,
right?
or is this the top of Jabba's palace?
Jabba's palace.
Palace.
But I don't think
That's
it's
the
the
palace.
main. It's like the secondary tower.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the upstairs
Yes, sweet.
part.
So does he take
Or-
Fennec up there and he's like, "Girl, tonight we're lighting the candles."
You
Like
know,
on
you
the
know what
charge
robot
now?
parts I gave you. Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to kick this guy named Jesse out of there.
Take them
He
off.
called himself Uncle Jesse.
Now, if you listen
Oh,
real
no.
close in the trailer, you can hear Enya playing right now.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, really?
Don't get us DMCA'd for Anya, Jesse. Please.
What a,
I wouldn't even say words. I don't
This is
even know
not how I thought I'd start my day. All
what a
right?
bad choice.
Yeah, what a bad choice.
All right. So my speculation is this is the Tusken Raiders going to take Boba out of the Sarlacc pit because they owed him one.
Yeah.
You think they just form a really long stick? Like it's that
Yeah.
simple? Like they just hook the sticks together and
A chain of Tuscans.
What
I
happened
don't
to
know,
that?
it's got that bitey
One in
moth
single
thing.
file stuff. Come on,
Yeah, these guys are.
get in line, guys.
This is the Reservoir Dogs of Tusken Raiders. They do not walk single file.
Who's Mr. Pink?
So which one doesn't tip?
It's
think we got-
definitely this guy over here.
Yeah.
yeah, he's called Mr. Stink.
A band
Yeah, he
apart.
really reeks. I mean, even
I
for
can't wait for
Tuscans.
their
He
90s
looks like
album
he
to drop.
stinks.
You know,
Yeah.
He does.
He looks like he's stinks.
And that's
Yeah.
and that's what the other Tuscans would say. He feels really bad about it. You know, you look like you stink, and now I do stink. It's fate. Yeah, it was fate.
All right. We got the old Fennec gun, I think.
Yeah. Fennec with her sniper rifle.
And more shots where I can't.
I imagine her
see what's
rifle
in-
breaks down into different types of rifles.
Yeah, it definitely.
So
looks
Greg
like-
Fraser did a lot of this stuff. This looks like
Like
Fraser's work.
Cassian,
The
like Cassian
details.
Muldoon did.
Yeah.
he was
This
the
is-
Oh, makes
cinematographer on
sense.
this.
Hold on 1 second, Rob. I'm gonna go take. My dog needs to go out because I forgot to let her out. So
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead and-
incorrect.
and
So
talk.
So Boba Fett, actually, the DP on Boba Fett was first. So it's the dude from Back to the Future, and then the guy from Clerks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the guy from Clerks,
Wow.
he and Chasing Amy, he did all that stuff for He did all the Kevin Smith films up until like the last one. Then he's doing all of the Mandalorian 3. He came on, so this is actually his work. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Greg,
Good.
whatever his name is, can't remember.
No, I
Greg
like it.
Nicotero?
'Cause it's not like because some cinematographers kind of force the issue with lighting, and this looks like it looks well lit, but naturally well lit. Not like they're just trying to make a shot look good for the sake of making it look good, but trying to make sense too.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It looks the shot is really good, and
Yeah, in Jabba's palace, I'd rather not be able to see where the Kalwakian space lizards piss. You know,
Yeah.
like
that makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
You'll step in it either way.
Well, that's what Ben Burt's shot's for, Max. Right? It's excellent sound design. You just hear it. Yeah,
We were smoking in
it's true.
who let that be in the
She
corner
looks-
again?
She looks like a little like she's gonna take a shit right now. I think.
Wow, Max.
Right?
Or she's just happy to see him.
the. She pooped.
She's
but
like,
does
what the
she'd be
hell is
pooping
that
nuts and
smell?
bolts, though, right?
She's
'Cause
poop excited.
She can poop standing up like that. I'd be impressed.
Whoa! I just came back to poop standing up.
Look, these guys will say anything when you leave, Jason. I was trying to be serious.
We got to keep the energy up somehow. You know.
No,
Yeah.
it proves it's not my
I got a
fault when that
prescription. I'll be
happens.
right back.
Allison's
Lindsay,
the worst of them. She just
Yes, I am.
it's poop, 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 poop. The minute you leave, I can't stop her.
No, you
Jabba
can't.
got laid.
Right
Do you
back.
know? Do you know slugs mate in a very specific way? Not
How
the-
did you
JJ
mate?
JJ Abrams does. That's why he put one in Rise of the Skywalker.
Look, I'll show you. Watch.
Yeah,
Like that?
That's what-
Just all right.
The original.
that's what that slug was doing up against Poe half the film. He didn't know.
I'm being
Now we're
totally
mates
serious.
for life.
Being like
I
like
like
totally
you.
serious right now. I think George Lucas actually established that Hutts they're like singles. What do you call it? Not is it asexual? They just
Mhm.
they just like grow one.
It's called
That was
force
good.
sexual. When they just have sex with the force and they reproduce, they're force sexual.
Yeah. So therefore, Rhoda the Hutt is actually the next chosen.
Rhoda, that's her name.
Yeah.
Like Rhoda, like Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
That was the joke I was making. Was
had his own
Rhoda
show.
with a T.
He had his own show in the 70s.
No, Squiggy, little Lenny and Squiggy, Hut the Hut. Like you'd think.
Yeah.
All right.
So Rogue says that's a large vagina face.
Who?
Ponda Baba. That'd be funny if, like, Boba Fett goes, "That's a large vagina face." He's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is he just?"
Now my prescription's here. I'll break.
He's been in that hole so long. Oh, that didn't sound good.
Well,
Sit down, pussy face.
Yeah, he hasn't learned any manners.
Yeah.
You think they'll come out with an action figure called Vagina Face?
that looks like a
Oh,
vagina.
Man,
too.
Hammerhead.
I think that's codename for Walrus Man. I think
Yeah.
Walrus Man is what they used to call that in the 70s.
That's the rarest Kenner figure is Vagina Face before they made the change.
Now this looks like the other side of the shot that Jason usually gets when he goes down to the set and there's just a tarp
Yeah.
on the outside of something. Like this looks like the reverse, like what they're shooting on the inside.
I would not be surprised if this is actually exactly where the Wonder Bread door used to be. And in season 1 of the Mandalorian.
And they just put a curtain over it. Yeah.
But it's like the same physical set location.
It does look like it a little bit.
It's a little drafty in here.
Bead curtain.
Smells like Lando.
And right here we got
Incense
Flash
and
Dance.
butter.
Yeah, that is her.
They're pretty. Is that really?
Wow.
Was that-
She's
I'm
holding up
pretty sure
good.
it's her.
Which one said that this was
Jennifer Beal.
Beal? Yeah.
I think it was Dave on the chat.
And then we have
Who's
a
that
Timothy
guy?
Elephant.
I was gonna
style,
say it's
collar.
very Timothy Elephant. That guy.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth little collar going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It hides it hides his neck.
The
His
guy
neck
in the back-
head.
The guy in the back left that looks like Obi-Wan with his hood up.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
God, I hope she flash dances in this though. I hope like Boba's like, oh, I think I could really settle down with Fennec Shan. She doesn't have a stomach, and I don't have to feed her or anything. Perfect woman ever. And then
She makes brownies in 3 minutes.
She never has to go
It's
to
true.
the bathroom ever again.
If you feed her the ingredients, a brownie comes out of her tummy.
Right.
That should be practical.
It's so stupid. It should exist, right?
Or
Right.
they do a crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and she gets hanging in the middle of her.
Yeah, this is the shot that I'm like, who's gonna complain about this, right?
Everyone, I would like everyone to be very, very sensitive right now and call this ship the Fire Spree and not the Slave One. I would just really appreciate that right now. Thank you.
Why?
No,
But I
I'm
like
just
slaves.
being stupid. Mr. Slave, we got another shot from South Park.
Mr. Slave.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, Allison.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye,
Have a good
Allison.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Have a good one.
Thank you for stopping by.
Anytime. Well, I don't really do
All
anything.
right.
Anytime. Just
Marshall wanted to call it the slave fun.
Bye.
It's fucking ridiculous. Stupid. Why would you do that?
So right here, this guy right here, he's saying, I'm just saying that not all of Donald Trump's ideas are bad. This is how the Thanksgiving dinner is going to go this year.
It kind of reminds me very much.
Hat
Like,
country, right? So
it reminds me very He-Man-ish.
Yeah, you know what? The one at the end reminds me of a character added to the Masters of the Universe movie.
Yeah.
Is that what you're rereferencing?
Oh,
Like
that's-
the
Moe's man. Moe's man.
Yeah.
Mose Eisley.
Moss
Right.
Man.
No, Mose
Mose.
Espa. It's Mose man.
Mose. Right here. Is that Boba's helmet right there on the table?
Yeah, it's
I think it was in
big
the
one.
previous shot too.
He's eating the bone in the shot. The big bone ain't there.
Oh look! He ate all of his food. He had it. He
Yeah.
loved it. He
Do you think he took the bone and threw it at the guy? Hit him in the head? Stop being stupid.
Oy, look at that face.
Yeah.
Oh God! Please don't tell me it's Zizor.
No. It's definitely not. She's or Carrie Fisher had to want some of that. No,
Oh my god.
I don't think Carrie.
Have you
Fisher
seen
wanted
the porn of that?
No, is there
No,
one?
Yeah, there's like art of Leia and she's or whatever his name.
Oh, fan art stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
I've come across my
y'all are
fair share
nasty.
of that stuff.
It's
Yeah,
like y'all are nasty. That looks really good.
I remember my first
Just
the
kidding.
very first time as I was about 16 or 17, and I had the internet, and I bought a web TV because it was all that I could afford to get online. And one of the very first things I ever did was, is there Princess Leia naked? So I typed that in, I hit return, and this picture comes back of like Carrie, like a Photoshop of Carrie Fisher on like a Playboy model like face on like a rug with like flash dance style socks on. And I was like, fuck, that's hot. I love this. And I was like, is that real? That can't be real. And then we looked at it longer. No, it wasn't real. We just lose everybody.
Yeah, like
I lost Jesse.
Oh,
all right, Jesse's back, and we got our James back. All right, James back.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so in a weird way, I feel like this is all coming full circle because she definitely had those flash stats leggings on in that.
What's that meme? The housewives meme where the chick's screaming in the one picture, and at the other one it's the cat with his ears down, just kind of looking at across the table.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but it sounds cool.
She's like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. What I was going to say earlier was I knew she was cast, and it was the lady from the Marvel show, and I was just like, oh, who gives a shit? I hate that show. It sucks. And now here she is, probably one of the most important characters in all of this jazz.
Well, if the Stargate show didn't get canceled, she wouldn't have been in the Marvel show.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Stargate as well.
Yeah, she was in Stargate Universe.
That's what my tips look like. I carry around a helmet and
A little Boba helmet.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll have to get you one of those candy buckets for Halloween with with that, and you can carry that around and be like, "Give me money, give me money."
Boba's actually trying to start a tax-free church, so those are collection.
I think he was going to the arcade, dude. Let's just be real. He's a big nerd.
Look, let's be honest. That Return of the Jedi game is not worth playing. Yeah, compared to the other two, it's a total letdown.
I used to have to go to Knott's Berry Farm to play that. It was like the only place that had it. Yeah, it had like a speeder bike game that you could play. It was like kind of like almost like Paperboy, but going this way.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Boy, there's a throwback. Yeah,
it's a good time.
Good times.
Are those red splotches like vibro knives or something like that getting swung around?
It's those shields. It's those shields that we see in the other shot that we're gonna see.
It's the next iteration of the Gungan shield. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually
Star
Gungan
Wars
tech. Yeah, it's true.
100 interviews says, is that new city in the trailer the capital city of Tatooine? Moss, Blink, fill in the gap. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's the most vibrant, thriving city we've seen there. I mean, Mos Eisley is like a spaceport, right? Mostly, anyways, and it's like it has some trash in it, but it doesn't look as big as that. So, yeah, I think they're going to go with Tatooine gets a lot more settlers after Return of the Jedi. I think that's where they're going to take it.
Moss Kurtz. Yeah. They don't do their production taxes very well. Their budgets are all fucked up. Yeah.
Intergalactic inflation was beyond them. And then, here you go, Jesse. You can see the shields in the shot now.
Yeah, see, Gungan tech.
There you go.
And
those
all
right?
of this,
like the Gungan?
pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much those shields, but they're red, different plasma.
They come out of that
Mortal Kombat vibe there.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen what's in their hand before too. I don't know where though. This definitely rings a bell to me.
I think it was a weapon from last season.
In a Mandalorian?
On the Mandalorian, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen it before. And this is all down at El Segundo right here, exterior
or even
shot.
El Segundo.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm surprised
they matted out Jason. He's right up in the corner with the camera.
At this time, I'm like, I don't want to die of COVID. I'm not going outside.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, Yeah, that's why I barely went down there for.
Oh yeah.
So
do you
is that
think
Jingo?
do you think he yells "Get over here"?
Is that Jingo?
Right.
I mean, is that Boba right there?
It looks like it.
All right. You think they take the helmet off and it's a fake Boba and he's really one of them?
Because look,
Yeah.
the other guy has got the chest stuff too. So
Hey,
Yeah,
did y'all,
but we
did
just
y'all-
saw his helmet with coins in it on the ground.
Oh yeah.
could these be people from Mandalore? Coming
Did
to
y'all-
town?
Could be.
Did you guys hear the commentary or the narration? It sounded like it was Mando or Din Djarin, right?
Yeah, somebody
Was it
was
him?
saying that in the chat. So you're the second person I've heard say that now.
I said it first in my
Okay,
head.
you said it first. You know what? We're gonna
kidding.
go. We're gonna go back into Max's head, and if my thing doesn't crash on me, I'm gonna play the trailer again because it's been a long time and I want to see it again already. If you want to talk over the trailer, by all means do, but you're gonna need to unmute your mic to do it.
No.
All right, little spider guy.
I am not a bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise.
Yeah. So we've already been watching all of this all day, obviously.
That was Din Djarin asking him.
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Yeah.
Jabba ruled with fear.
That romantic fire.
I intend to rule with respect.
See, because like he doesn't have the helmet with coins shows up,
You were all once
and I'm guessing that
captains under
he's
Jabba the
gotten
Hutt.
in with the bad guys.
I'm here to make a
Start kicking
proposal
ass.
that's mutually beneficial. Why speak
Mutually
of conflict
beneficial to the Skywalker
when
line.
cooperation can make us all rich? What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
See, he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna fight. Oh no, he's in the center of them right there.
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Please. Speak freely.
Does that mean when she says menagerie, does she mean like his court, or does she mean like the Rancor monster?
No, because
They mean
they were down there. 3PO comes in Jedi. It has to be the arm that comes out of the cell that grabs 3PO has to be one of those other things. Maybe they're not prisoners, or if they are prisoners, it makes them fight.
It's Captain Pike, bro. He's gonna come back. It's true.
Jason,
Yeah.
So that
how do
would be
I
menagerie.
how do I pause my video for a second?
I don't know. There's a way of doing it. I could hide you on the stream for a minute though,
For a second.
and then just in the private chat, just tell me you're back.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways,
That's actually Kitster.
oh, that's Kitster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is I don't know, man. Doesn't that look like him though?
Yeah.
I don't, bro. That could be anybody. Like that right here. That could be Jennifer Grey. I wouldn't
Wait,
know.
is
You
it
know,
Jennifer
like
Grey?
if Jennifer Grey got stood in the
That
tanning
that
salons a little
bitch
too
looks
long.
like she hates Ferris Bueller. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Letting the galaxy know.
But then we have this moment there. You can see that he's clearly there. So I guess I am just seeing things. Yeah, she looks pretty good right there. Very heroic. And see this right here. See that wall back there. That's where I am right there.
Mhm.
That's my perch.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
definitely
The
slimmed down.
Percherazzi.
Uh-huh.
You can see in his belly he's slimmed down.
Yeah.
Definitely
Very
fits
kind.
better.
Sure.
It's been
Yeah.
Although it does. Do you remember that interview with George Lucas where he has like a button-up shirt and there's like little tummies poking out through the bottom of the buttons right there, like on the thing.
Yeah.
That was adorable. Little Lucas tummy.
I was watching someone put up like 20 minutes of the making of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles from the Japanese DVD set.
Oh wow, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I will send you the links. We're great to watch because you get to see young Rick McCollum before he's all coke blown in the face.
Yeah.
Like he's smooth but Lucas already has that like dad pouch. Like he's he's already hit it.
He's like, I have to be honest. Whenever I make Amanda Lucas or SpaghettiOs, I take a couple bites. When I make Jet Lucas's
You
SpaghettiOs,
gotta. I mean, someone could have poisoned it. You gotta taste it first. You know? Sometimes you eat the whole can. You gotta make another. Yeah. You think these will be one of those like lame kind of like Star Wars Black figure release? We got a big thing going on, folks. Big deal. Big thing coming Monday. You know, Black Series. The guards with the shield. You know.
Yeah, no, it hasn't moved the needle.
Anticlimactic toy releases.
I'm gonna give them credit for all of the right here. We have this could be me in Star Wars right here. This is definitely if I was in the Star Wars universe, rocking my dad bod right here. Doesn't look that guy was probably hired to be one of the Gamorrean guards, and they're like, okay, you're gonna be these guards now.
Oh no!
Right?
CO Scrabble.
CO Scrabble.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's pizza. Za's not a word, you fucking cheater. It's in the Scrabble dictionary. It pisses me off.
Oh no, Boba Fett's Antifa now. Oh no.
Oh
no.
No, he does a lot of the faces that he does in his Maori dance in this trailer. So Boba's gonna be like, doing that shit, which I love it. I'm glad. I saw him do that shit at a couple of times. Like when I say shit, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean like in a cool way. Like I seen him, he do like the whole dance and the whole like fucking routine, and he gets into it. And so I'm pretty jazzed that they're bringing that Maori energy to Boba Fett kicking ass.
Missed opportunity was to bring Chuck E. Cheese to New Zealand so that all the puppets did that, right? Like that would have been amazing to see just Chuck E. Cheese and them every birthday throw down the Maori dance.
No, you didn't talk shit about me, right?
Yeah, I did.
I was like Max claimed first on a thought on this show.
Yeah, what are you? Are you the thought police? Don't have police, Max. Thought police.
I am. God.
I didn't challenge it though. I just laughed.
So you know. My question is, after this move, did he come?
Yes, he did.
What?
I know.
That was a very David Carradine moment for this trailer.
See, it's funnier when you say that. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Right here.
There's your answer.
There he is.
He got red boots.
Very satisfied. Red boots, satisfied.
You think they were happy when the Union agreed to give them the red boots? Like, we fought for it, guys. We got the red boots. They wanted the black ones.
Think about it. This guy right here, he didn't get to eat all day. He didn't get to eat. He didn't get to pee. And then he got thrown down by Boba Fett in the sand, like in the dirt.
And he's wearing a mask for the pandemic.
And then Alec Baldwin shot at him. So there we go.
Oh, that's so mean. Oh, God.
And now Boba needs the Kurtz beard in that shot. Can we Photoshop the Kurtz beard?
He looks crazy.
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna screenshot this right here. I'm gonna screenshot my screenshot because I'm gonna make this next time we cover Boba Fett. That's gonna be the featured image right there. That's a good one.
T-shirt.
But I'm gonna say Boba Fett might be fucking insane. Just gonna throw that in there.
A little.
He looks like he saw some shit inside the Sarlacc, you know?
I showed my wife the trailer before we came up here, right?
What was her reaction?
And so it plays. Her reaction as a normal person was like, when Boba Fett get out the Sarlacc pit? I was like, didn't you? We watched Mando. She's like, we did? Yeah, right? Luke Skywalker. I'm like, and Boba Fett? And they did?
So that was Boba Fett? I thought that was just a fat guy.
Perhaps some of the storylines in that series overshadowed the Boba Fett stuff for some people.
Do you think a lot of people are going to really know that he went into the Sarlacc pit?
They're going to have to re-explain that in the series.
But like,
yeah.
So like, my brother's he's a Star Wars fan, but he's not like us or y'all.
Y'all.
Y'all. Yeah.
So
Max is our Texas friend.
Yeah. Everyone says y'all, don't they?
No.
No, it's the lack of taking responsibility that I'm impressed by. Not the
does.
Max is like, you freaks like Star Wars.
You fucks like Star Wars.
Yeah, meanwhile, Max is up with us at 2 a.m. reviewing an anime, but all right.
One of us, Google Gobble, we accept it. We accept it.
Yeah.
Max already has LOP merchandise. Like
I do.
I know. I'm aware.
Yes, you are. I actually I wanted to get carrot earrings, and my cousin was like, "Why?" And I said, "Because no one wear them with my LOP T-shirt." So instead I got a pendant that was a crystal, and it's orange, and it looks like a carrot, so it's not so obvious.
I want to see those creatures eat oversized carrots like Bugs Bunny used to. Right. Except like they bring up a tray and it would be like this rump roast carrot.
I have a fuck great. You, Rob alert. Rogue 438. He doesn't like the Black Series collection. Who is this nerd? Right?
These fucking guys. It's not what I said. I said when they make anticlimactic toy announcements to get you to think there's going to be some fucking amazing thing, and then it's the guard with the shield. Jesus.
Pre-order now.
Let me.
By the way, I hate the Black Figure series. I don't know if you're aware of that. Cheap ass. $26 for fucking shit we used to pay $5 for at a pick and save. All right. Doesn't even come with a power coin. And some of them are $26, by the way. It's ridiculous.
This look that he has right now, I imagine that's what the Phantom Menace looks like when Kathleen Kennedy gets her contract renewed every time.
Star Wars.
I want the figure that does this.
Star Wars 101. It's called Haka Tribal Maori War Dance. There we go. And there we got some.
When his hands come down, he smiles, but when they go up, the toy actually grimaces. Right?
Yeah,
like that would be worth $26.
Yeah, I do miss that action kind of thing, like where you like move the arms and it does something, like where you squeeze the legs and then the arms like hack and
battle damage Boba Fett where it flips over and it's got more damage. And then it just shows his belly.
More nerve damage, yeah.
Finn or
Jesse, we know you're a nerd. You know, we can see that. No. What?
Oh my god, he looks so crazy.
You're trying to get rid of some of these here.
This is why PR doesn't want you taking your own screen snaps, by the way. Like,
he looks like Curly from Three Stooges right there.
He looks crazy.
Yeah. He looks like he's ready to do one of these,
It's the fisheye lens too, like it's bowing like a Tony Hawk skater mag, you know.
While I'm going to throw it out there that no one should ever murder anyone, Tamara Morrison, never lose your cool and murder somebody because the like featured images are just ready to go.
Like he'll cut you up, he'll cut your body up. And...
I love it though. I also love it. He's really like, chill.
Tarps.
More tarps.
Huh? The tarps.
Tarp.
What's the tarps?
Every time Jason takes photos, they got a tarp in front of a doorway. And I'm always like, is that for the show or is that because they're shooting something on the inside? And it shows you they just got normal tarps.
Normal tarp. They got tarps everywhere. See? And yeah, this is probably also filmed out in El Segundo, Manhattan Beach, as they call it. Right here, we have Boba Fett looking like Jesse coming onto the stream every day. Very, very down low.
I like how new guy shows up and asks who I am. You know what I mean? That's my favorite. This fucking guy.
So Jesse sounds like.
I agree with new guy. You suck.
Well, you know, for the right amount.
So Jesse sounds like Boba Fett and Rob sounds like George.
I have a friend who is an old time Hollywood guy. Been in Hollywood for years, decades, like 50 years. And he will just drop Hollywood truths to me all the time. And I'm usually like, I don't really view things, and he's not wrong necessarily about it, but he's like, whenever you're on camera, always be the tallest one. Never let it. So like imagine if we were all like, here, I'm gonna hide this really quickly. Wait, where's it at? Where is
Jesse's like sticking his neck out.
Wait, okay, this is okay, so we're all here, right? So if I was like this, he'd be like, you don't do that. You'd be like this. You be taller than Rob. Otherwise, Rob is the top dog on the show. Like that's how people in Hollywood see some of the shit, right? But it cracks me up because when I think it's funny. Don't worry, I'm not like
Tom Cruise, Vin Diesel, all your 5'2" actors.
But then here you go and you're like Boba Fett, and you're like, so I'm like, well, how do you explain that with Boba Fett? Is he being emasculated right now? Should the Phantom Menace be angry about this? I think so.
No, I just want to know if he has to use the restroom on that throne, does he actually have to get up?
No.
I told you they urinate in their costumes and they recycle and drink it like every other science fiction epic.
But you've heard the term when you're on the throne, right? When you go to the restroom.
Whoosh.
Well, no, they also have a tube that goes right into his butt, and when he poops into that, it fills the rocket pack.
There you go.
It's
it smells like farts too.
Completely organic. He shops organic.
That's why he's always eating at those tables, because he has to, he needs a lot of fuel.
Yeah, and remember, I don't like black figures, series action figures. I'm the dork. Out of all these guys now, out of everyone here, I'm the dork. But okay,
you're
sure.
I have to go to Sprouts and get my vegetables.
It is a little doggish in the face, right? Like a little dog face.
Oh yeah. He's
a mug.
Barada had a
best friend.
I was like that. Barada had like a little Rambo kind of like headband on though. This guy needs one.
Is that a Trandoshan? It doesn't look like it.
It's a Standoshan.
I see like what these guys kind of confuse me, honestly, because but I think that they are Baratas, which are Klaatuians, right? Yeah. James, is that right?
The Robert Blake of aliens. They murder their own wives and then claim it was
William Shatner too. William Shatner too. Look into the evidence; it's all there.
My friend who passed would every time I bring up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he goes, William Shatner murdered his wife. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I googled it and couldn't find it. But all right, but he just every time I mention Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he could not mention that. Like,
well, there was his wife drowned, and it was like I remember there was like some circumstances where you're like, is that what it means though? It doesn't, some people really believed it at the time.
The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood novelization explains exactly what happened. So.
Oh, it does.
That's hot.
Nope, it's great, and you can never imagine how it goes.
Where's the frog dog?
Not at all.
What happened to the frog dog? Is the frog dog dead, you guys? Where's
the frog. Where it comes out and licks something.
Really?
Yeah.
Lens flare.
He's dead.
Hey, wait! I think I see a UFO. I think no, I don't. We should do that. UFO spotted in Star Wars
trailer.
We started over, so we saw it all, you guys. We saw.
Wait, hold on. There's a hidden word in there.
Oh, sorry.
Oops.
Wow. Okay, Max. I was just trying to say there's something in the trailer.
It wasn't you. I was just
it's mean.
What's this chat stuff?
Because I don't like Black Series action figures.
No, I wasn't flicking you off. I was flicking off the camera.
I think they should replace all the Black Series figures with Funko Pops.
Boom. I felt very Tatooine Rhapsody.
Rogues, are you asking what I do for a living, Rogues?
Say that again.
Oh, shit. We have a full fight going on.
In the chat, there's like...
Yeah.
I'm an artist. What do you do for a living, Black Series guy?
You're right. This is what I do. I pay Jason to be on the show. $5 a month gets you this platform. Do you see what I'm wearing? Do I look like I work?
Not at all, bro. That's some cool.
Yeah. Well, I will say I think the Black Series toy line is kind of boring too.
Yeah, it's gotten really boring.
It's not really for me. But but Rick Jones says that the Black Series Rancor is $350, and he has a point about inflation.
Like Mr. Roger.
Was that the point being made?
Oh, you're gonna think that's cheap when it actually ships 2 years from now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I
go ahead.
I like the simpler. I like the simpler toys. I personally do.
You mean like the 3 1/4
kind of-
action figures, like the smaller guys?
Yeah, why make it so complicated?
Yeah,
To me, that's always been what defined Star Wars for me with those small ones. And I know when they were starting the Black Series line, there were like meetings and conversations about how do we change the culture there. You know, how do we get everybody to be completely on board with this new size?
With the 70? Oh,
with the 6-inch figures. And originally it was because they wanted to make vehicles, and then in recent times vehicles became completely outpriced, so they couldn't do it for the price points that they used to, so they don't make vehicles very much anymore unless they want to do like that HasLabs kind of shit for the most part.
My mom bought me the Millennium Falcon. Did yours ever like collapse on your hand? Mine did. You remember how you had the hand?
Were you on mushrooms?
The handle that folds up, and
yes,
it looks like a ramp.
Yeah,
I have that one too.
Like it stands up, like it's
so you can fly it around.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. With
the gray handle that would pop out of the bottom.
Yeah, and it would always it would collapse on my hand all the time.
Yeah, it pinch you sometimes if you try to fly around with it in the wrong way too.
Yeah, mine's in the closet.
All I'm saying is, Captain Power figures were $7 a pop, and they were metallic. Yeah,
that's true.
The big criticism
way better
of Captain Power was
Centurions were 15 a pop, and you could put shit on them. Like you could actually put the Boba Fett armor.
I love the green one. The green one was my favorite one.
Jesse, you're a fucking nerd, dude.
Sorry, man.
I like the theme song to Bionic.
Love it, and you know it.
I like the guy with the big porn stash. That's my favorite because he goes underwater. You'd think he'd be smoother, but no.
That's Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And his underwater figure, it's Adam Diver. So.
All right, Rhodes,
makes sense.
I am a longshoreman for a living.
You what?
I'm a longshoreman. The guy in the chat asked.
Genuine laugh right there. I like that. Genuine.
It was genuine.
It's genuine. Fun trailer. It would be funny if they go next week during the D69 thing. They're like, yeah, Boba Fett trailer special edition, and it just continues that scene where he just tortures everyone. You know,
Rob's like, fun trailer. I just hated it so much.
No, I just think at the end is anticlimactic. That's the part where you fucking murder everyone, and the whole internet goes, "Oh shit, I gotta go watch this."
Yeah.
That's it. He's got to show the brutality. It needs. And look, there's gonna have some amazing stuff in the series. I'm not saying they don't.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when the internet says, we want to see nothing. We want to go in completely surprised. And then they come out with the trailer like, why wasn't there more stuff? And you're like, because they're doing what you asked them to do. So I just think to get everyone like in the hail yes, rally moment is just at the end, just have them fucking kill everyone. So everyone goes, yeah. But other than that, it's great. I love it.
I mean, I got excited by the spider.
It's like for Force Awakens, what it was Solo going, Chewie, we're home.
Yeah.
Did we want to keep doing that, Jesse? Is that a good idea? It's probably not the best idea. So.
See, thank God I'm not in charge of it because I would have had the final thing be the.
Who looks like Mr. Rogers?
Someone says you look like Mr. Rogers. 1, announce that and watch all the Phantom Menace people lose their mind that they're dropping the name. That would have been my end of the trailer. Oh, it's no longer Slave 1. We're going to call it the Fire Spray, and all the people. Oh, SJW, blah blah blah. Watch all that nonsense take place. That's what I would have done.
The Fire Spray sounds nasty. I think
it already has, man. It already has on Twitter.
Right?
Yeah. That whole quote controversy is already gone over twice, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I imagine when the episode airs, they will at some point have to address the ship title in some way, and we'll see how they do it.
Where did that come from anyway? I know it was like in a comic or some shit.
Fire Spray?
Norwegians.
Oh, yeah.
The Danes.
Well, I mean, originally the ship model's been called the Fire Spray since pre-Attack of the Clones. I want to say, at least
it was in the West End stuff back in the day that they called it the Fire Spray. Back then, when you look at the listing of like the model
Yeah,
and
it's the
whatever.
manufacturer's name for it, I
fire
believe.
spray. Yeah.
Like it's like the YT 1300 for the Millennium Falcon. It's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the ship model name or whatever. And then but one of the things about the recent controversies has been that they changed the title away from Slave One, but we still don't even know if that's actually truly accurate or not, because when they do the product translations for things, they will go with like they won't necessarily, like, for instance, if the Millennium Falcon wasn't so well known, they would literally call it Han Solo Starship. They would probably call it that on a Lego set today. And because they don't want to do translations in every language for it. And so, but like Millennium Falcon actually has one. So they have that. They would never do that today. But Slave One, I don't know if it did, and I think that's why it had those titles in that.
Why? Because of the slave word?
Yeah. They don't like the Disney the rumor is that Disney doesn't like like using slave for a hero. That's
slave.
yeah.
Oh,
and
Brittany,
it's,
what are you doing?
So I mean, it could be legit. I mean, that could really have happened.
Yeah.
I believe it was from Lego that said that, you know, he went on like an interview and said Disney is moving away from the name, doesn't want us to use the name. So there might be truth, but at the end of the day, does anybody give a shit?
No.
I mean,
nobody cared until they made it.
Fantasy made up ship. It's the name's never mentioned once ever in any of the movies. So even if they never mention the name again, you know, who cares?
And what did Carrie say when they wanted to remove the slave Leia? She was like, she was all about it. Like
she will. Well, yeah. Two things on that was the first thing was the first thing was up front. They there was an internal memo. I saw it in Lucasfilm or in Disney saying we're not going to call it Slave Leia. And during the sequel trilogy era stuff, don't promote Slave Leia as our selling for Carrie Fisher anymore. And because they're trying to push the idea that she's General Leia in The Force Awakens. You kind of don't want her to be the bikini babe at the same time. Those things kind of work against each other
in a general sense.
Generally
speaking.
But they so that happened. But around the same time, Carrie Fisher did an interview with Daisy Ridley, and she was straight up saying, "Don't let them slave Leia you. Don't let them put you in the bikini." Yeah. And Carrie Fisher didn't like her role in Return of the Jedi. Like nothing made sense for her. Her character's trajectory just didn't make sense. So I think she was proud of her body and the fact that everyone saw her at 24 or whatever age she was, like rocking that shit. I think that part she was proud of. I don't think she was necessarily happy with, as an actor, wearing a bikini for a third of the film.
She was slave to the Ewoks, really. Really.
I mean, just objectively thinking, she looked amazing. And for a woman, and that you killed, a slug or whatever, like, I didn't see it as demeaning to women.
Right.
I thought it was, well, especially like, it was very progressive, I thought.
I mean, ultimately, you do have someone trying to subjugate her, and then her coming back around and choking the fuck out of him and killing him, and then winning and saying, "Ah, no, I'm much more than this."
I don't think a lot of people are very offended by her being.
No.
Looking.
I'm offended that she's not going to get a Black Series Hutt Slayer figure.
I actually hate that. I hate that title, the Hutt Slayer thing.
Yeah. Well, look, Jason, look, we talked about this. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, where I said the problem with Jedi is that Leia should have been commanding those ships, not Akbar. There shouldn't have been a Mon Mothma and a General Nadine leading the rebellion. She's leading the rebellion. She's leading the troops on Hoth. So then after the Empire Strikes, she should be leading the rebellion. She should be in charge of shit. And it should be her in space, Han on the moon, and Luke on the Death Star. Now it's a triangular battle there. But they introduce a bunch of other characters, and then they're not taking a lot of agency with her. She's doing nothing but supporting other people. And I think
I think like even though they claim that she's, like in charge and everything like that, there is a little bit of she's the woman and that the men take care of everything. They do. They do.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
not
like,
agree or do you not understand?
Well, it's the same with Padme and Revenge of the
little bit.
Sith. I mean, she's just like a prop in that movie. Padme has no story, character arc, Revenge, and I like Revenge of the Sith, but she's so sidelined that when they took out that whole subplot of her establishing the rebellion and showing her actually doing something, she's just kind of there as a MacGuffin.
I mean, she has her moments where she does things. Now, yes, of course, it's going to be more prevalent that the female is going to take charge and do things, and I appreciate that. That's fine. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it's a comment of our time in culture back then.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, it is a bit like there are things in the original movies like we can't pretend like they were made last year when they were made 40 years ago. Like that.
They got 3 pages dedicated to her in this thing.
Slave Leia. It's like Slave Leia looked so hot with her body glistening in the Tatooine suns. If you thought once that bod was hot under one sun, you should see it under two. No,
she's just it's long.
Oh, really? So that's really not. It's sorry.
As a longshoreman, you would know.
Exactly.
Long.
And then I found Slave 1 in here. It says there's also a Slave 2.
Yeah, Dark Empire.
Dark Empire, yeah, that thing sucked.
Yeah, well, they used to call it Slave Tueen, and that was just derogatory after all. So it didn't hold up.
Yeah, but to go back to that one thing, like the idea that, like, I mean, if they make it where like Hutts were just the name of like the crime syndicate and the slug people were something else, that's like one thing. But like calling her the Hutt Slayer, that's like she might as well be like, I don't know, the Jew killer. I mean, it's very Nazi sounding in the end. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a genocidal sounding name. So now we're moving away from her just being a Jabba's prisoner to literally fucking being about genocide. Like it's not the right choice.
He's the bear.
You know
I mean, there are good Hutts like Geezer.
And I went and did when that conversation was going on and everybody was getting all fucking hot and under the collar about it. I went and looked up what the original name. It wasn't Slave Leia. That was something that came that did come aboard with 90s fanboys and all that kind of shit. The original concept is that it was a dancer. Not that they want to call her that either. That's not a good name, but it was a dancer's outfit, a dancer's costume from Jabba's palace.
No, this revitalization of the Slave Leia all comes from Friends. Like seriously, it all comes from the episode in which Ross goes, "Remember when she was in the slave outfit, the slave bikini?" And then that's where all this comes from.
Maybe the bikini outfit would have been more appropriate. Like,
well, the fun part is that when I was in the army, I was in the station in Germany, and there was this Lego magazine, Star Wars Lego. And I was like, oh, great, Star Wars Legos are coming back as the Phantom Menace. I bought this magazine. In it was a fold-out 22 by 20, whatever, 24 poster of slave bikini. And this kid's magazine. And I put it on my wall, right, in the barracks. And people, where'd you get that? I'm like, this Lego magazine. Like what the fuck? I'm like, Europe's great, isn't it? Isn't it? I love this country. Like, country, Europe, the one country. Right? Like,
I love this continent.
Look, they don't explain much to you in the army, all right? You just send your places and you try not to offend people. Yeah. But that's about it. Like,
yeah. Well, both y'all.
So Hutt Slayer, it was funny. Wouldn't it be funny if at the end of that rock opera anime, like they think they made it, and then like Leia's there with an axe, she's like, oh, she just takes him down. Yeah.
Or how about this? We see it's like post credits of the Book of Boba Fett. We just finished it. We're like, whoa, what a series! What a ride! We can't believe it went there. And then we see Rhoda the Hutt emerge from the shadows, and we're like, oh shit, he's coming. He's gonna avenge his dad. He's taking it back from Boba. Boba, you are going down. And then CGI Leia steps out with a fucking hatchet. It just goes, "Jah!" And she
he's
has
wearing
the
a
fucking
slave
look.
fit.
She has that Jango Fett look in her eye.
Here's Carrie, right?
And
She calls
really
Zach
is-
Carrie.
And
It
he
really is
wears
the
a
Hutt
slave
Slayer.
She should start a heavy metal band called Hutt Slayer.
or
Slayer.
Tatooine Raps.
Like
Oh wait,
Hutt Raiden Hutt Blood.
Hutt Slayer, but it's like Slayer covers in Star Wars language.
Yeah.
There should be a
Like
Black
Hutt
Series
Heaven,
figure.
you can do a lot
or
of stuff.
Star Waver.
There should.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what's everybody?
I want a Black
everybody's been
Series
asking-
figure where when you it's like the remember that Pound Puppies where you take the collar and it dries off, right? It dries off but it's Leia. You shake it and the clothes just come off. Like
Rick Jones
the
says all these
bikini.
Return of the Jedi hot takes
God.
are blowing my mind. Yeah, we got them. We got Return of the Jedi hot takes. But so
Bikini Slayer Leia.
we saw it now. Bikini Slayer. We are close to the trailer. I mean to the show. We got the trailer now. Are you guys overall more excited for it now that you've seen some of it than that little like tease? Or is it exactly, did it move at all? Because I think that's like the real question. Because this trailer though, when a trailer comes out now, I think it comes out for 2 or 3 different reasons. I think one reason is to keep fans happy. The other is for print to get things moving and to start being able to talk about it in third-party shows. Because when you get down to it, when a show goes streaming, that's when you want to start promoting it. When it's available to go subscribe now, no one goes, "Oh, that show's coming out 2 months. Let me go to DisneyPlus.com. Here's my credit card." That's not how it works. People put their shit in when it's available, when they can go to watch it. Mm-hmm. And so this serves, I think, a different function than that. So as fans, did it move it forward or did it keep it right where it was for you last year when we saw the end of The Mandalorian?
Rob?
I mean, I personally, like, I saw A New Hope when I was 2 years old at a drive-in movie theater. Lived through the whole original trilogy, did the whole West End thing back in the dark ages when nobody gave a shit about Star Wars, and honestly, I'm just sick of the original trilogy. I've seen Empire. Empire is a great movie. You thought you guys
I like this guy. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
mm-hmm.
I'm bored of the original trilogy.
I know.
I'm most excited about Cassian because I think they have the most leeway to do something original and different.
No.
So the book of Boba Fett to me is like, well, it could be interesting, but it's Boba Fett. I can give a shit.
I got that shirt.
I'd be just as interested in a Kister show.
I wrote the whole saga for him.
And Boba Fett to me, less was more. Same thing with Vader. If they gave Vader like the comic series for Vader is horrible because less is more with Vader. You don't want to do a series for Vader because it ruins the character. You need to pull back and just have him do cameos when it's extremely appropriate, not try to shoehorn him in. So yeah, so this to me is just kind of like a meh. This trailer looks beautiful, but like I said, Cassian's is my jam. I'm waiting for that guy.
Max, did it move it forward for you at all? Are you more excited than you were before, or are you the same excited?
No. I am, because my ass has been in Star Wars Visions for the past month, and it's still going to continue. But I did get distracted when I saw this.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just as much as I could be, so I'm still into Visions right now, and I'm still going to do other shit related to Visions. Yeah. But yeah, I was excited.
Do you find that when it comes to like your like enthusiasm for Star Wars properties that you get pretty like transfixed on like, this is my thing for right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then that so you feel like, if I'm reading what you're saying right, Visions, that's still your main thing right now, but you feel like it's kind of getting in there. You're kind of like starting to have a little bit of the daydreaming about that as opposed to just thinking about Visions with your fan brain time.
Yeah, a little bit, because eventually I'll get more involved or excited about the Book of Boba Fett, even though it's coming out December 29th, which I it's like, fuck, why not come out January? It's right at the edge of. I think that date is stupid, personally.
Me too.
So just do it next year. And right now, I'm gonna still be excited about Visions because I totally am all about that right now.
Yeah. So, okay. So in a weird way, you were very positive, but I also think
negative.
It doesn't. It's kind of negative in the sense that you're still like, oh, that last thing has still got me. So that's kind of
the release date. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
all.
all.
The release date. I would rather have had it for the holidays a little bit more.
Well, I mean, because it ends with December 29th. Well, why not do it the following week? Let's start off the new year with the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, they probably want.
I really don't understand the date.
Register for awards.
Huh?
Register for awards.
It could be it could be that it does
so, yeah.
It does help it does help them have a Star Wars thing this year as opposed to not having had anything.
Because if they get it in there, the next go round of award shows is.
I mean, they had
fighting other Star Wars shows.
I mean, they have the Bad Batch, which I don't know, whatever. I mean, I liked it, and they have Visions, and they have. Is that all? That was it, right? This year?
Well, what Visions is animated. This is live action. I don't know. I don't know if they really care. I don't know if they care about awards in Star Wars or not. I mean, they graciously accept them, but I don't know.
But that's one day. That's only one day.
Yeah, but it does make it eligible for that, for whatever that's worth. I don't know that.
It's because all their toys are sitting out in the fucking ocean because Jesse's here, right? And if you got their toys in the stores in times, we would get Boba Fett earlier. Longshoreman.
Hey,
all right,
I was
Jesse.
allowed to go down to Long Beach or Oakland, where they're all sitting out there. I
know where my Mando ship is sitting right now, right outside Jesse's backyard.
There are not enough truckers. That's just
he's got us all hostage, folks. Jesse owns, he controls everything.
Yeah.
All right, man. Jesse, are you more excited now? The same question. Did it move forward for you?
I'm a little ambivalent about it, but I feel that I am actually a little bit more excited because now I have some visions, like some picks to go for, and then now a set date that is coming out, because before I thought we were told that October was going to be the release time, so putting it back into Christmas, I kind of agree with Max as like, they could have waited a week or even two, but it's definitely made sure that I want to see it. I'm not going to lose work or sleep if I miss an episode. So
and I think that's kind of an important designation to make about this, is that it could have made us like flip the fuck out and start screaming and crying and breaking our laptops, and it would be great reaction videos, but that has as much. But you could also just do a trailer that makes somebody just tune in and watch it, and it's the efficacy is the same and the result is the same for them at the end of the day. But and then Rob, I think now you're not going to watch it. You're mad. You won't be watching Book of Boba Fett now after this trailer. Because
all I'm saying is, if when she's like, the Hutts would have killed all of his Mander or whatever slave dudes, then we cut to Boba Fett on the back of a Rancor for 1 fucking second, the whole internet flips, and this is the highest trending trailer of anything today. Like, that's all I'm saying. Don't have to spoil, but end on a holy shit fucking moment. It's Star Wars. It's an event. That's it. And that slow moving George Lucas 30-second Attack of the Clones trailer where Vader's just breathing is not the way to do it. It's the fucking Darth Maul opening up the 2 fucking bladed saber, cut to fucking pod racer, first person, thing. Bam! Episode 1. That is what works for Star Wars. I need the energy. I need the energy, even if it's a slow moving, fine for the show. But for a trailer, man, just bam! Smack them over the face.
So do you think that they're going to release another trailer for the Disney Plus thing?
I don't think it'll matter because they got everything else is being said at that thing. The now is like the DC fandom. This was the time to drop your cards. This is the thing to do to make this stand out. I think when it's real and everyone's talking about it week to week, however it works, it'll be a bigger deal then. But for now, if their goal was to make this Mando Monday, right? If that's marketing's goal, that's what they do. Now I don't know because I'm not an artist. All right, I'm just a homeless vagabond.
You're just a dude on the couch.
I'm just a dude.
The dude on the street
dude looking for his rug.
I do have awesome felt paintings though. Yeah. Right. So I have style.
Well, I will. What I did not expect we were going to see the trailer before the November 11th date. So what I believe now is the most likely scenario is that we were going to get a behind the scenes reel, which is usually what you get as well, a BTS reel and a trailer. I bet you that is going to come on the 11th with that on that day. That's when we're going to see Robert Rodriguez fucking playing guitar and doing all kinds of shit that isn't direct.
He pulls up in the truck. He's got tacos for everybody. I'm jealous. I can't be there.
Yeah. He's not gonna. He's gonna be doing all that shit. And so I bet you that's what we end up getting. Now my hope is that they really sell Obi-Wan Kenobi and Cassian is coming and that we see stuff from that at that time. Now I thought we'd get very little. I think we might get more now.
The marketing for this so far has been a little lukewarm. I mean, like we got that shadow poster, the shadow poster, which some people like. I'm like, if it were illustrated, you'd remember it. So I'm fine. The marketing has nothing to do about the quality of the product. The marketing for Battle Angel was lame. The fucking movie's awesome. So it's irrelevant to me, at the end of the day. I just wish that when I showed the trailer to a non-super fan, they were like, holy shit, I can't wait till that comes out. And there aren't just more questions about, did he crawl? Like, here's something for the trailer. Show Boba Fett crawl out the Sarlacc pit, because most people didn't fucking watch the second season of a lot of people, they didn't remember or don't remember. The average person remembers Return of the Jedi more than they're going to remember second season of Mando. So, like, show that in the trailer so you can see, oh, he crawled out the thing, he's taken over. Like, it's just little things like that I think sometimes they cater to the Uber fan that they know they already got. They're catering to the person they know are going to watch the show. So throw it to the people who don't even know. They got Disney Plus because they're kids. That's a cool poster, by the way.
They could have ended it. They could have ended it with a hand just coming up and grabbing some sand to pull itself up.
All right. So
that's all they had to do.
So what I was saying about casual fans, like my cousins who are casual fans, they don't remember Boba Fett going in the Sarlacc pit. So
right.
I'm wondering if a lot of people are going to be that way. Like, oh, this is a Mandalorian that I don't know about, but you know what I mean? Like, not so specific as to what happened to him before.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's that aspect of it.
The show will cover it.
They'll have to cover it.
I'm just saying the trailers, whatever. But then look, 4 days from now or whatever, next week, that making of thing comes out, and that's the thing that re-explains all this shit. And then all this conversation is mooted. It's pointless. Mooted,
but
whatever.
They're in a weird situation too, because you can't have your first
farting.
episode be like a 30-minute introduction as to Boba Fett fell into the Sarlacc and how he got out, because that's a boring.
It just opens to Josh Trank crying. Is what it does. All right.
I would rather watch
that. Pomeranians, fuck.
I'm sorry, my dog shit on the set. I shouldn't have been fired for that.
I'm just a simple unemployed person. I don't know what I'm talking about. So,
are you really?
Huh? Aren't we all really one step away from being unemployed?
No.
Yeah.
No. I can just imagine it being kind of like the Robot Chicken Emperor skits, where you're going to get the voiceover of Boba saying, you're probably wondering how I got out of the Sarlacc pit. Let me tell you a story.
Sandworms have butts.
Is that the groundskeeper Willie joke from the One Treehouse of Horrors? I found a way out, but it ain't going to be pretty.
He's like, do you guys remember that old Bugs Bunny cartoon when he used to dig to China? Well, I got shit out in China to the other side of a Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, Ace Ventura Part 2, where he gets out of the rhino.
Yeah, that's the best.
Thanks,
scene.
Jesse, for reminding me of
best
that.
This sounds like
Appreciate
at
it.
IBS.
You're welcome.
I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see this isn't a Star Wars story. Although missed opportunity to put the cool bars around the Star Wars logo, right? The little retro bars, kind of cool. But yeah, it looks cool. It's a cool poster.
It was the Boba of times. It was the Jangoist of times. You think it has one of those little openings? He's just like sitting there like a Tell Two Cities and shit. No, and like that's the whole thing is like in the Mandalorian it's like chapter 1, chapter 2. So is it going to continue that vibe, and that's why it's called the Book of Boba Fett? Like it's very much a weird title, and I was like, a part of me still wishes that they would just fucking explain it to some.
Ironically,
to some
it won't have a novelization either, so that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
think about it.
The no book.
They're like, all you idiots can't read.
No books for Boba Fett.
I don't like to read.
I do like to read, but I don't think that Star Wars is the best place. I don't think it's the best place to experience a book or a Star Wars story for the most part.
I really like Star Wars Ronin, so I'm just letting you know. Yeah,
the best thing they could do out of this is a sequel to Tales from Jabba's Palace now.
Yes.
Thanks, Dickweed.
Yes,
Appreciate that.
Do that.
Fucking can't wait.
Dedicated to Rob. The book. Yeah. It's called The Book of Tales from Jabba's Palace. Dedicated to Rob.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know if it's gonna, like I said, if it's gonna follow like the same even opening as Book of or as a Mandalorian with the chapters and stuff, and that's gonna make more sense. But
is that the Dual Suns or is that a BB tank?
Oh like, God, you son of a bitch!
The BB tank, man. I'm telling you, I want to see it.
Episode 9 BB-8 tank. Yeah, I'm actually okay with that concept of there being.
I think like they should have done it. I'm 1,000% honest.
I just don't want it to look like a giant BB-8.
I do. And I want them to open up and all these BB-8s roll out. Like, I want that. Look, the whole concept for Dio was that he was the ugly duckling chasing around BB-8. The better thing would have been a BB tank with little BB-8 chasing the BB tank. So you get that same concept, but you don't have to create a whole new, what do you call it? Creature, right? You get the same thing, but and then like Poe's in there and he's looking down. Oh, got a little buddy, yeah. Right, all the little BB-8s come out and they're on the fucking Star Destroyer tearing it up and shit. Like that's something George would have done. Like, you guys, do you not know George Lucas? Like, this is the man who put an alien with a 9-foot tongue in his fucking film. like you gotta think this is his alley, man.
Stephen Bamford, he agrees with you, Rob. He says that I'm with Rob. Where's the energy? This failed on the promise of imagery of the Mando after credits. So he's saying that like the post credits scene had that low energy, and he expected this to pretty much deliver the here we go, here's all the action, and the trailer didn't really do that. And I think that the trailer delivers the same message that the post-credit scene did, and that would be my biggest, as a fan, my biggest.
If it cut to him riding that fucking Rancor, if the rumors, if there's a scene like that, that's the whole internet right now, and they're like, holy shit, like that's it.
Well, I think there's still a possibility for another trailer. I think.
Yeah.
Am I an asshole for saying that?
I'm
just saying first impression.
No, I think we're gonna get that behind the scenes reel. I think that's what the next one's gonna be, and then I think that it will start seeing like individual TV spots and stuff like that, probably coming to like regular cable television and stuff like that, and they'll start giving stuff away closer to the release of it, most likely
tonight on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That Mando,
but
we're gonna fire spray you with some money.
All right, Mark Hamilton though, he has the best burn of the show so far. Who wants Tales from Jabba's Palace when you can get Tales from Rob's T-shirt company?
Semicolon, no residuals.
No residuals. And then
That's why I have this luscious abode you see here.
And I will say, Dale says go back and watch season 1 of the Mandalorian trailers. And I am with you. I don't think that the Mandalorian has ever had a good trailer.
No.
I don't think that
I think they're just relying all on people saying, "Oh, he's in the suit. That's badass."
But it was exciting. I mean,
yeah,
you didn't
We're
know
not
what was
taking
going
away
on.
from it, Max. I'm
Yes,
just
you
saying,
are,
like,
Rob.
yeah, I know. I'm taking it. Fuck it. It's mine.
No, I'm kidding.
It all sucks. Fuck this show. Why are we even? No, seriously, I love it. I really think
I'm kidding.
the trailer for the Last Jedi was more. I mean, I'm not. Obviously, it's a movie, so it's got a bigger budget, but I just think like energy, bam, and like that. If go back, the best trailer for Star Wars probably is the Phantom Menace because it sold you on a movie. People, at the end of the day, were 50-50 on. But when the music kicks in and it's like the pod racing, there is amazing imagery in the show.
Well,
sure.
Why they wouldn't show you one little bit of it?
I'll tell you why,
to me.
Rob. Secrecy. They are letting secrecy tie their hands. They're afraid that people who care are going to watch it all anyways. They're going to figure it out as if that matters.
This trailer made me want to go eat Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Damn it, Max! I want Kentucky Fried Chicken. What the fuck, man?
You kind of made me
saying fun food when I can't eat fun food right now. I'm stuck here complaining about Star Wars figures and defending my choices in life. What am I supposed to do?
Maybe this.
I hope I wish they would do like cool food promotions again.
Like Denny's.
Denny's.
No, not like Taco Bell.
I know that was a shitty. No, it wasn't shitty. It was fun to me. I wish they would do something like that. It was
the Book of Boba Nuggets, right? You can get your nugget pack, and it's got little Mando nuggets in there, and the whole thing.
Yeah, good nugget
meal.
How about this? How about this? This is the tie-in. They're tired of making me fat. They do a Barnes and Noble tie-in. It's like the Book of Boba Fett, A Tale of Two Cities. The Book of Boba Fett, Catcher in the Rye, and a whole series of little tiny books that you could go get from Book of Boba Fett. It has Boba Fett on the cover of all of American classics.
50 Shades of Boba.
50 Shades. No, it's still 50 Shades of Grey. It just has Boba Fett on it going, read, kids.
I hate reading.
And then she's all, hey. Fuck it.
That's the quote on the DVD cover. I hate reading. Max. Okay.
I hate reading, but Book of Boba Fett was a romp. Max.
A frolicking romp.
No, I mean, I tried. Well, the thing is, hold on, I'm gonna burp.
Yeah, do it on the
No, sorry. No. So, my mother always
spoil Luke. Sorry.
What?
Sorry, I'm sorry. The comment. Sorry.
Go ahead, Max.
No, I always wanted to learn. Not learn how to read. I always wanted to read.
I always wanted to learn how to read.
No,
Max, we're here for you.
Oh, I'm so sad for you.
No, I know how to read.
Okay.
It says support the show on Patreon with channel
Where's
membership.
LeVar Burton when we need him?
No. No, my attention spans are very short when I read.
Yeah.
So that's all. I've always been that way. So where am I going with this? What I was talking about?
Well, reading sucks and watching TV is more fun, and I think we agree.
Yeah.
No, when it comes to I do like reading. I just feel like if I have a couple hours to devote to reading, there are better ways of doing it than Star Wars books. There's better things to read than Star Wars books if you have that time. But and I say that not to knock Star Wars, but that Star Wars is a visual medium. It works in cartoons and on screen and even in comic books. But reading about visuals that aren't, and the visuals, like you'll open up a Star Wars book and it'll just be like, said the Doug, not even describing what the fucking Doug looks like. If you didn't know what a Doug was, you wouldn't know it's some motherfucker walking on his hands. You'd just be like, okay, some guy named Doug. And so I'm like with you. I feel like when you read a Star Wars book, you're only getting about a quarter of what's there unless you bring a lot with you. and that requires so much work. I would rather read Neuromancer again or something like that, where I'm like, wow,
not even the same genre, but all right. I mean, Star Wars works great with pop-up books, right? Like you'll pop it up, and then like a Doug pops out at you, and you're like, "Fuck, what is amazing!"
What am I going to read? Like John Carter of Mars in the same genre, and be like, "Oh, this guy's just racist."
That's how I feel about Dune.
Dude, I read Dune.
What?
What you
You're saying there's no racists in Dune? Do you not watch the movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Good.
But
A lot of reading, Max. Don't do it.
In the movie?
Yeah, a lot of reading.
After reading the movie?
Yeah,
watching the movie?
Yeah.
I heard that you don't like it.
No,
He loves
it. You've been listening to Rogue 1138's text again.
It's a will they or won't they thing with him and Dune. They're gonna fall in love pretty soon. I can tell.
Well,
it was named after a racist, David Dunes. He's the racist in the galaxy. He's the biggest racist in the galaxy, and that's with the Dunes.
I'm mostly looking. I'm looking forward to Timothy Chalamet in the prequel for Willy Wonka. So
you and his mother. Like
what?
Oh.
I saw that outfit too.
Yeah.
Can't wait for a Wonka prequel. I love you, Max. I wish I had that enthusiasm for anything.
Well, I have the same enthusiasm that's the same enthusiasm I do have for Visions. So you'll see it soon.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing is to go back all the way to what we were talking about a little bit earlier about Boba Fett, not Book of Boba, but about the mystery of Boba. Is I always felt like he was almost like kind of a prom queen, if you will. You see the prom queen, you're like, oh man, she's beautiful. God, I want that prom queen. But is there anything there? I don't know. I doubt it. And that was always my thing with Boba, was that there wasn't a lot there. And then they pull him into the prequels, and I actually really do love the Attack of the Clones elements with Jango and Boba. I thought that stuff was super fun. And then we get to Revenge of the Sith, which is ironically my favorite Star Wars movie, but then once again doesn't deliver on what the previous film had invested in. And my critique of the prequel trilogy is that we invest in Jar Jar Binks, and then we see very little payoff of that investment. We invest in Boba Fett, and then we don't see where he's at by that point. The Clone Wars rectified a lot of that for me, thankfully. But in terms of the greater scope of things, but Boba has always been like, okay, his whole thing is that he chased Han Solo to Bespin. He didn't even really catch him. He just kind of like
I got 24 issues of a comic that dispute that tale too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. but and so when you and while I do agree, like in like the micro series aspects of it, you don't want Darth Vader and Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker in all the time. Like you want to use them sparingly. I feel like this is the chance for Boba Fett to actually live up to his design, and that's a tall order though. Will it? I don't know.
It seems bizarre. I mean, they set Jango up as just this mercenary for hire that's going out in the galaxy, and then Boba's kind of following footsteps, and all of a sudden he wants to run a crime syndicate at like age 50. I mean, it seems a strange choice in career paths suddenly. So I don't know. It seems like they're just kind of shoehorning it. They could have done a different character, same kind of story, and just had Boba Fett be this kind of badass that comes in now and then and does badass stuff, as opposed to, dedicating an entire series to him. I don't know.
Well, what was Jango's end game? Was it to get that big payout and to go buy himself a planet and do what he's doing? Was it like, or was it just like, because that's like my whole thing is like the whole idea of that Boba's whole life is about reputation. So he wants likes on Twitter. Like that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean though? Like I'm the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. Okay.
He's like the Zodiac killer.
You did it. But I mean, it's like, like if we just look at it from afar, it's fine. But it really doesn't like amount to, for me anyway, it doesn't really amount to very much. It's like, so if they just say you're the best, then you're the best, right? In Star Wars, like Jango's the best, Boba's the best. And like, that's where the comic books, I don't like them. That's where they fall flat, because it's like, have you heard about his reputation? Do you guys know who he is? And you're like, yeah. How about you fucking show me who he is, what he can do, and why he does it, and why I care. And like, so I'm hoping, my hope is that this series delivers on that, and we're like, oh yeah, he is badass. Robert Rodriguez did make a ton of action set pieces that set it up where I'm like, oh, this guy is not a Jedi, but he's fucking crazy. He's
and if they could put a little bit of it in the trailers, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Just beyond, I got a stick! You know?
Always bothered me was from Attack of the Clones, and when Jango gets killed, is his offense and defense to face a Jedi, and even though it was Mace Windu, it just seemed like he just was firing as he just walked backwards.
Yeah, he kind of going out.
Yeah,
so
I blame Jonathan Hales. Yeah,
we don't.
I do.
I know his back was damaged, so it didn't technically work.
They actually added sparks. They added sparks. Do you know that, Jesse? When it originally came out, there were no sparks on the jetpack for Jango. People were like, "That's stupid." So they added sparks to it, so that way as he backs up, you're like, "Oh, that's why he doesn't just fly away. He can't."
Attack of the Clones, mistakes were made. Yeah.
I think we got James. Yeah, James is gone. James was like carbonated for a second, but yeah, they ended up adding like stuff to that to make that not feel so like stinted, I guess you might say. Yeah, but we end up with
it's the hype, Lucas. You guys are all forgetting the MTV Awards when Lucas hyped that fight. When he was like, you seen The Matrix? You think The Matrix is the best film? Wait till you see a Jedi fight a bounty hunter. Like, he was like, he really fucking hyped that shit up. James will remember. You know, like, Lucas was like, not only are you going to get to see 98 degrees, you know, you're going to see 98-degree fucking fights between a bounty hunter and a Jedi in the rain. And then we saw it, and it was like, fucking who cares? Like, seriously. Like, we didn't know C-3PO's decapitated head was going to be dragged around. That would have been funny if it was in the background. Hey, look at that! Like,
that was so funny.
I've come full circle on it. I was like, that is you can't do that. That's what I felt like when it came out.
What part?
And then this is such a drag. And now I watched it, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. Why
did I like that song? I laughed a lot.
Yeah, I laughed too. I was like, but my whole thing was like,
my friend was like, that's so stupid. I was like laughing.
Yeah, that was my whole thing. Was like, let's like, it is on one hand, I appreciate the balls to like do it. Like he knew what it was kind of like he was pushing it there. But after Indiana Jones 4, when they do the same equivalent of that, which is the waterfalls that keep happening, but it kills the whole momentum of the whole entire film, then I was like, okay, somebody needed to wrangle that in at some point. Somebody needed to say, no, George, now it's time that you stop. And Spielberg's like, you're my best friend. You have all the right ideas. Like, no, not this time. This time that was a bad idea. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I do agree with like where you're coming from though. Like with the less is more stuff, James. Yeah. Like it is true, but we have set into the place now where it's all about more for sure. So like they have to do more. They have to.
And I blame the fans. I mean, it's kind of, you know, one of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford when he said, if I ask my customers what they want, they tell me faster horses. And I kind of feel that's the way Star Wars fans are. I don't want Luke depressed on an island. I want more Boba Fett. I want Ahsoka. You know, it's like,
I want more Black Series figures.
I don't. Yeah, we
so much.
Give me your address.
I'm going to commission a Black Series figure of Rob.
I think that
sad fan crying, right? You want that figure?
Only the sweater comes with it.
The Ford quote that you dropped there, James, is really though is pretty much on point for fandom in general all the time.
Yeah,
you're not wrong there at all. And I was of the same mindset where, because you know there was like I kept hearing Boba's on, Boba's off, Boba's on, Boba's off, like you know what I mean, for it to finally become a thing, and then it was finally back on, and I was like, well, we got the Mandalorian now, and nobody's thinking about Boba Fett anymore. And he totally satiates the whole desire for Boba Fett. Everything you ever wanted from Boba Fett was right there in the Mandalorian. He has the rocket pack, the armor. You actually like him. He's like a likable guy, and he's got this adorable Yoda. So on one hand, when they went back and were doing it, I was like, man, why? Why are you taking this risk now when you don't even need it? It is strange.
Yeah, and the whole villains as heroes thing is tough to pull off in any kind of meaningful way, where it just doesn't become like some kind of circle jerk of just pleasing fans.
It's a circle beep of life, right?
We keep our helmets on so you can't see our faces. It keeps our anonymity.
Yeah, and the Maori thing at the same time. Whoa! Wow! Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
What?
What? No, just Rob. I'm just gonna
what?
keep saying, every time Rob says something.
There isn't one person on that island that couldn't kick my ass. So I gotta live with it.
Also true.
Even Daniel Logan when he was 12 could whip my ass. So I accept the fallout.
Wait, I'm trying to share the screen cap of the.
Can you pause me for a second? Oh, what? I'm just kidding.
Hold on 1 second. I'm in the middle of trying to get the screen cap from the circle jerk on. All right.
To be fair, I didn't make the joke. I just took it to another level. I didn't make the joke. Very careful about that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. There we go.
That's what
it looks like. Right there.
But sir, this is for Wendy's.
That's a circle jerk?
Yeah, that's Boba Fett's face during the circle jerk right there.
Oh god.
Yeah. That's why they keep the helmets on, Max.
No.
It's not actually battle damage, is it?
It's feeding himself damage.
When I was a grad student, I was teaching this class about masculinity, and there was a book that's name I cannot recall at the time right now, but it was about the Boy Scouts, and I'm telling undergrads why they need to read the footnotes and endnotes in these books. It's really important in ethnography, and they don't listen to me. And one kid did listen. One freshman in American Studies did listen, and comes in and is like, I read the footnotes, and I'm like, please go on. And he's like, there's a circle jerk, a giant circle jerk with all the Boy Scouts, and the troop master knows they're doing it, and he's just like down the way, and then he comes in at the end, and they all do a circle jerk. They're jerking each other off, and I'm like, and that's why you read the footnotes, you guys. Because if you don't read
that was in the original draft of Stand By Me. It wasn't a blueberry pie.
If you don't read the footnotes in ethnography, you don't get the circle jerk. But if you read the footnotes, it's all there.
You want to see a dead man's boner?
Someday
Jason.
you will.
Yeah.
Can you pause me for a second?
Yeah, I will. Message me on the private chat if you need to get back on.
I don't know how.
Okay.
Oh well.
At this point, I'm just
eliminated.
No, unless I mess up, which I just very well may. But yeah. But I'm optimistic. I think if we like The Mandalorian, I think you're gonna like this. I think.
I'm looking forward to the show. I want people to know. I am looking forward to the show. Genuinely excited. I just don't like anticlimactic trailers for action films. Like if you saw a John Wick trailer and you're like, oh, what's John Wick gonna do? And at the end he's like, I'm gonna do something, and that's it. You're like, well, show me fucking John Wick doing something. He's John fucking Wick, right? Like, that's all I'm saying.
Mark Hamilton says circle jerk pseudonym Rub Sketchcraft.
See, Mark just wants in on what Rogue and I got going on. So, just all right, Mark, you'll have your day. Today's not the day. not a good day for you.
Anybody have a take on that? Is the spider hi Bobby? Bobby's saying, is the spider in the beginning of the trailer stop motion?
No.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm gonna say that it was meant to at least mimic the original look of the puppet. You know, because the original
They
one
limited frames, but it's not stop motion. So
yeah. Because I think the original one is a puppet composited, but I could be wrong. Did you guys ever see Lightman? There was a creature in Jabba's palace down the way after you see the Beamor monk walk by, and it was a guy, and he just had light bulbs glued to him, like all these light bulbs, and he was gonna like walk and go, "I'm a light man. Light man's in Jabba's palace in the dark now," and you're gonna be like, "Whoa, it's a light man," and it didn't work. It sucked, and they didn't use it. But you'll every
the fact that I can't tell if you're telling the truth or not shows that some of the creature design in Jedi is questionable. You know,
no, it's all great. It's all great. They didn't use Lightman. They said Lightman doesn't make the squid head cut.
Isn't that the cover of Delicate Sound of Thunder by Pink Floyd? The guy wearing the light bulbs.
Yeah,
James is old.
That was where they had the idea. They were like,
Pink Floyd.
Like what would be our combined age of four of us? That's old.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Joel says Spider looks like a Phil Tippett special. It very.
We know what a Phil Tippett special really is, though.
Oh shit! It's that shirt off. And from Star Wars to Jedi. When he's doing the Rancor. Anyways,
that's the isn't the Rancor guy the dude from Star Trek who directed Haunted Muppet Mansion? Yeah, the animator. Yeah. He was the punk rocker on Star Trek 4. That Spock.
Oh shit, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He animated the Rancor.
Max, am I supposed to put you back on? I don't know if I'm supposed
to.
See,
I know some stupid shit, you know, like a little bit.
See, I can't even hear Max now. So Max is probably like saying like,
no,
you know,
I'm
you
sorry.
guys...
No, I texted you.
Oh,
I said
you did.
I said you blocked me.
I'm on. You blocked me. Okay, you're back.
My favorite Rancor scenes from the Kinect game, though. Really, you know.
Yeah.
Like when everyone gets to be the Rancor.
Yeah, supposedly there's like a story going around right now that that there's going to be an animated Black Sun series about Darth Maul and Black Sun. And I'm like, oh, if that's true, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like
when
who
really the dawn fades, the Black Sun rises. Right? You can see that now.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is Crimson Dawn. A Crimson Dawn show where a little girl looks at the camera every time and goes, "But we have each other, Maul." That's not.
It gets the darkest before the dawn, right? Black Sun, like
remember the dawn.
They just want more Kira. That's all.
Yeah, I want more Kira too. I just think that's the shittiest, stupidest place to do that. I hope that's not accurate.
Who, Kira?
Yeah, I want more Kira. I'm excited for her to have more screen time of some kind. I just don't think that handling the Star Wars underworld in animation is the best place to do that with Maul. Especially now when I look at the Clone Wars era, I'm a bit more like, yeah, they did some badass shit in the Clone Wars in the original run of it. But when we get to the modern era, like the Star Wars Rebels like era of Maul, their hands are tied a lot. He's not cutting off people's heads and throwing it on tables and shit like they did with the Black Sun episode in the Clone Wars. They won't do that today.
That was dark.
Yeah. And if you're gonna do underworld Star Wars gangs and shit like that, oh, we're a Star Wars gang, but we're very ethical, you know.
That's the end of this trailer. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It literally says every Star Wars saga has an underworld, and then there's no kill them all at the fucking meeting moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think we're gonna get some? Do you think we're gonna get an underworld? Anything? Or at least
I think this is it.
This is
that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that this is it. And then if that cartoon rumor is true, then you end up with an animated version of it. But I really like like I'll probably enjoy it. It'll probably be like, yeah, this is serviceable, better than I'll probably enjoy it in the better than nothing like sense. Like it's something to watch tonight kind of vibe. But if you're gonna deal with any of that stuff, like in animation, like the criminal underworld with Darth Maul in animation is that's not ideal. That is not. Yeah, you want live action.
Across well either, I think.
I thought that the live action show, because I know Lucas was a fan of like Deadwood and Rome and more the mature audience stuff, and that Underworld was going to be more in that vein as opposed to Clone Wars. So it was going to be a lot less family friendly. I wonder if Disney would ever do anything like that. I don't think I can't see him ever pulling off even the PG-13 like Venom type. Well, maybe Venom because that's. But the Deadpool, they would never do Deadpool Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I think that Lucas was going to do exactly that. It was going to be. I think at one point they even did call it rated R Star Wars, more or less. There was going to be sex workers in it and stuff like that. There was a character who was a sex worker. It was going to be like they were going in that route with it. But as the frontier of Star Wars Underworld slowly closed, I think a lot of the important things started getting pushed into the Clone Wars. Yeah. And the idea was that Clone Wars was going to be your rated G. And then that was going to be your rated R. They were going to meet somewhere in the happy medium overall, both of the shows, and that was going to be like, if it was a Venn diagram, that's where those two things would have met in the main circle. It's
where we find out all the spices ran by Heidi Spice.
Heidi Spice.
Yeah.
And I'm Barra Papanoida is not in Heidi Spice's book.
Well, he is, and he's a fictional character. So
who's Heidi Spice?
George Lucas is in Heidi Fleiss's book.
Oh, Heidi Fleiss.
But Heidi in Star Wars, Barra Papanoida is the George Lucas character.
No, I thought you said Heidi Spice.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
In Star Wars,
in Star Wars, the Heidi Fleiss is Heidi Spice.
Creative. The names have been changed. Max, the names have been changed to protect the identities.
Purely coincidental. Purely coincidental.
Yeah, you would never have guessed. Right? Because I'm that good.
Now, Jason, you might know, because I had heard that one of the big reasons why Lucas ultimately decided to bow out when he did is because his negotiation with HBO on a live action series did not go well. And when he couldn't get that deal done, it was kind of like, well, I'm out. I can't do a live action show.
What happened, the way I heard it, was why Lucas left ultimately was the 2008 financial crisis. It wiped Lucasfilm out. They had so many of their holdings and things that completely were rocked by the 2008 financial.
And he doubled down with Strange Magic and Red Tails, and that didn't help.
Yeah, he has these vanity projects. Clone Wars is costing 3 to 4 times what it's supposed to cost per episode out of just artistic vanity, wanting it to be.
Rick was like, if only we had crypto. Oh god.
Yeah, right. And but actually,
about her crypto account.
HBO was supposed to put the Clone Wars out, and what happened was, and they had a deal, and they started making the Clone Wars like 26 minutes long, whatever they like needed to, almost like what Disney Plus is doing, because HBO was just going to air them, and as the deal went on, HBO got greedy and was not happy with just a distribution deal or even a lifetime kind of weird distribution deal. It was, we own it with you. We're going to pay for it.
They kept altering the fucking deal, Wards, fucking assholes,
Yeah.
And so they had
control. They wanted a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And they went, so then Lucas went and had a meeting with WB. WB's like, we'll put that shit out. Just take the episodes that you make and we'll make them into a movie and we'll put it in the theater. And Dave Filoni's like, motherfucker, are you serious? Like he's both excited and totally afraid because he knows it's a bad idea. And so
don't go to Nickelodeon. It's called Trickelodeon. They trick you.
Trickelodeon.
Yeah, they like to trick you. Don't do it.
Yeah. That's where Dave Filoni was at that time. He was.
I know. That's the whole joke.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if you were just naming shit. But yeah, So
This is
basically,
welcome to the show where I make a joke and then I explain to everyone on the show
what it is.
I know.
That's
Yes.
fair. But we end up, so we ended up with Lucas leaving 3 or 4 years after that. But that may have been like one of those things where he knew, like, because they were still doing tests like in 2010. They had Philip Bloom, I believe, who was a big art guy, photographer, who was a genius with DSLRs.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever seen that time lapse footage of from Skywalker Ranch that you see, like every time you see Skywalker Ranch and it's like time lapse with like flowers and the stars rotating above the ranch and shit like that above the lake out there, that was all done at that time, I believe, with Philip Bloom doing the DSLR test. And what their idea was that they were going to take DSLR cameras, put really expensive lenses on them, and they were going to film the underworld looking like it was a movie. They were hoping that they could achieve that level of quality, and they kept saying they were trying to get each episode down to $10 million, but they wanted each episode to realistically cost $100 million. They wanted like every episode to be like half of a movie, and they were trying to get there. And I think, and from what I understand though, I heard
Kurtzonomics, Jason. You know,
yeah, I know. I heard
exactly the opposite.
And they could do it now.
Prequels.
No. Now they could do it, and I heard that they got it down at the time to being somewhere around 60 million on average per episode, and they were just looking for breakthroughs to be able to make it happen. Like the volume might have been the other half of that breakthrough. Like had they really developed it, and that was one of the. And then Lucas wanted that land outside of San Francisco that he was going to build that digital arts center, and that was going to be the other component that was going to make that happen. San Francisco fucked him over. HBO fucked him over in his mind, anyways. And so you had enough, and then I believe you also had the 2011 release of the movies where he was shit on, and his kids started getting harassed pretty heavily by Star Wars fans who suck.
Who?
And then
George?
No, like Katie Lucas was on this poster right here who wrote this arc. She was very on. She was on Twitter. She was completely accessible. You could talk to her about Star Wars all day. It's a good time. And she was actually releasing like a lot of cool stuff about her dad, like rock and roll shows, like that one 60s rock and roll concert. I can't remember what it is now, but like the Hells Angels show up and there's crazy footage. Lucas filmed that. Lucas is the cameraman during that.
My dad was there.
Wow.
Which one was it? Which one was it, Jesse?
It was Rolling Stones at Altamont.
So
Altamont Raceway, and they hired. It's just past Tracy here. It's not actually that far from where I live here.
Yeah,
and it's just up in the hills. There's like a kind of a racetrack / bullfighting kind of thing that they did their rodeo stuff. But primarily it was a racetrack. Yeah, they had basically a Hell's Angel got out of hand and he stabbed somebody.
Yeah, Lucas was there. Lucas was the cameraman for that show.
Wow, I did not know that.
My dad was there. So.
Yeah, and your dad was there watching.
This is like, and I got the knife, just like scream.
my dad did it.
Look at the blade.
What I'm hearing is Lucas was a member of Hell's Angels. Is that what I'm taking away from this?
What's that?
Lucas was a member of Hell's Angels. Is that what I'm taking away from this conversation?
No,
and then
the Pee-wee was not a member of that bar fight. All right, he just did the bird and got out. That was the same thing.
Well, that's how you diffuse those situations, is by doing the bird.
You think Lucas did that? Like you think?
Oh yeah.
But I would.
He's big into the trash.
The bird is a word. Yeah.
Lucas, Like.
But I think that, to go back to what James was bringing up, I think that it had the 2008 financial crisis been different for Lucasfilm, he may not have sold. I think that the fans generally hating anything he does and not letting him do anything that he wants to do on his own terms, I think was another big part of it. And I think that the HBO thing definitely played into it, but he had already found alternate ways around it. And one of the things he kept talking about all the time was he kept telling everybody, like, essentially YouTube is the future. And he was like, basically, we need to turn StarWars.com into a TV station. And it's just going to be all Star Wars all the time. Then we're going to have all of these different things that are continually going out. So I think he was even looking at using something like YouTube on his own platform to release all of his content. like essentially like the early version. I think WWE had its own channel at one time, or still does. Maybe it does.
Mhm.
I think he was looking at that kind of idea for Lucasfilm at the time.
It was called ZoaTube.
Yeah,
ZTV.
I had asked
explain it.
Jonathan Rizzler one time about
Yeah.
the sequels. Everybody knew that he was going to make 7, 8, and 9 at some point because financially they couldn't afford to not to. And so as much as he came out and said there's no 7, 8, 9, never doing it. I asked Jonathan Rizzler one time. He said he never came out and actually said it, but everybody in the company kind of knew like this is going to happen someday because
Steve Stans, or not Steve Stan, Steve Sansweet said the same thing to me. He was on my show a long time ago, and he said the same exact thing. He's like, we were going to have to do something.
Well, I remember. Well, okay, so anyway, I remember seeing an article of George talking about 7, 8, 9 back when Return of the Jedi came out, and my uncle even told me, he's like, they're gonna do 7, 8, 9, and I was like, are you crazy? So they were talking about a long time before,
So. Oh, he would say
Starlog is a powerful force in the universe.
My uncle. My uncle.
Starlog. Like it's where a lot of those stories. Yeah, it was a magazine at the time. It was like is where a lot of this info came from.
Well, I mean, even Mark Hamilton did. Mark Hamill. Did
Mark Hamilton.
See,
an interview.
He wants you to remember it that way.
I already said that every time I say Mark Hamill, I say Mark Hamilton. Anyway, I remember Mark Hamill did an interview talking about 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
where he had a mohawk and he had dreads.
One of the things that used to go on back at Lucasfilm, really early on, what was the guy's name who ran the marketing company at first, like the merch guy? Was it Rothman?
Charles Lippincott or Howard Rothman?
Lippincott. Yeah, Lippincott was the first guy. I think he created a company called Black Falcon. And Black Falcon was how Lucasfilm was originally releasing merchandise. My Empire bed sheets. If you have the original Empire bed sheets, one of the few products made by Black Falcon or whatever. And anyways,
and then he turned into a Blue Falcon.
They oversaw an investment video that was being sent to everybody at Kenner. And if you find it, it's called Star Wars is Forever. And it's a Kenner video for Kenner investors in 1979. And they're just like, don't worry, we're making 12 of these babies. It's going to be 12 Star Wars movies. And the gravy train for Kenner is never going to end.
And like UFO disclosure, it's like when the head of Boeing goes, we got the way to go to the stars. George Lucas eats his heart out. And then nothing.
And so I think that I think between that and Kurtz, you do see that there was like a thing on the table, like we can do this. As Lucas has admitted, he made it up as he went. So he had disparate ideas. He could do that in a perfect world. But
if Herbert's books didn't get so fucking weird, I could have wrote that for 15 more sagas,
But I think if you want to be real about it, 7, 8, 9, the 9-part saga and the 12-part saga, I believe were a carrot on a stick for licensees, and that's always what it was. It was like in a perfect world he could do all of these trilogies, but in reality it was about looking strong, looking like bold, and like there was stuff there. I don't think that
the funny part to that story is Kenner then pitching a post Jedi toy line and Lucas going, no, you're out of business now.
Yeah.
Which is on the toys that made us. Like you can watch the whole thing.
No, and that whole thing. The bad guy from that became a background character in Dark Empire. The Emperor's Royal Guards that you see, like those guys that are kind of like an updated version of the Emperor's. His name was like something like Moff Raxus or some shit like that. It wasn't his name. I'm saying I get it wrong, but it had a name like that, and like Tarkin survived. I think if they hadn't gone with Tarkin surviving, they probably would have actually got closer to it. But what was up with that was Lucas wanted to let Star Wars rest for a little while. The idea was to let everything like recoup and re-energize and then come back strong. And I don't think I think a lot of things got in the way. I think Willow not being a huge success was something that kept the company from being super financially secure. I think they were hoping Willow in '88 was gonna like give them a whole trilogy of films, more Star Wars era quality money, and that they were going to be able to go and make the prequels in like 1994, and that just didn't happen. And they just only had bomb after bomb when you get down to it, like Radioland murders and shit.
Yeah,
But
I heard.
Aren't you
that
glad
someone
it happened the way it did? Sorry.
Someone had told me, and I think I put it on the chat the other day in the show, that Lucas was super jacked about doing Young Indy, and he wanted to do that he had plans to do it for season after season after season. And he was all in on that. And when that went south, he had said at one point to somebody that, like, you know, I have to go back and do these movies now. Like he was like, now I got to do Star Wars because I'm not making any money doing all this Young Indie stuff, and the company needs to survive. At that point, I think ILM closed their commercial division, so they weren't doing ads anymore, and so it was like a thing of, okay, well, Young Indie didn't pan out. Radioland Murders isn't making any money. Willow didn't make any money, and so he had to go back to doing Star Wars.
Young Indy's an odd show, James. Like, having just watched the first 30 minutes of it, like, there's no indie theme song, there's no adventure. The big trip across the ocean is for him to get a nanny, you know. Like, in the first part of it, it's I get his reasoning.
Yeah.
If you were gonna keep doing a Forrest Gumpy, this is before Forrest Gump the movie came out, obviously, but like a Forrest Gumpy type thing where a character goes across and meets all these different historical figures, you would think his father would have been more of that, because I just get the sense in The Last Crusade that was his first adventure. He'd always been stuck in that part of town with his dad because his mom died, and his dad couldn't go anywhere because of the kid. And then, you know, he's lived adventures through the museum or something, and that was his first. And then this show, it's not bad. It's just like, is this Indiana Jones? Like, this
Lucas
is weird.
never revises history in his franchises. You know, we know that. So he never goes back and changes anything. No, but I mean, I think Young Indy was great, especially at the time. Technically speaking, it was well above and beyond anything else that was being done. And, you know, he was starting his educational foundation, and he wanted Young Indy to tie into that. Like, kids would get involved with history and studying and learning about history through Young Indy, because they're like, oh, I'll watch this Indiana Jones show. And it's definitely not the movies. It's nothing even close. But the other thing, too, was that ABC bounced it around their schedule. It got bumped off because I think that was like, wasn't that when Ross Perot was running for president, and they had like his like infomercials out, and Young Indy kept getting bounced around in its time slot. Like, oh, it's on Sunday. Oh, it's on Tuesday. It's on Wednesday. And so it had no shot of ever getting, and not to say that it ever would, but who knows? But it was dead in the water the way ABC played it out. And
but at that point, to put it in a historical context, at that time, you had a bunch of failed TV series based off films like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, you know, these kind of like that weren't evocative of the original film. And to do that again at the budget that they did in Indiana Jones, where they travel around the world, is such a weird. Did we all get bumped off? Like, is there even a point here? I think we're all going to get thrown off in about 2 seconds. Watch, Max. This is what happens. Yeah. Probably because it went 3.5 hours.
Oh.
Nope, that's the show.
No, it's not.
Bye.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.